allow the two children to have the budget every year.
Yeah. So after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description as well. Pretty much short. Then like it, like the broadcast, share it. All this just to show that you are actually here engaging with this. And finally, it is an open mic. Let me check if our phone is actually active before I insist. All right. So yeah, it is an open mic where you can phone in just anytime you feel like you want to say something, and you will be sort of allowed. So hear the broadcast, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that it is brunch time again with Maiyegun live. Yesterday in Katsina, in a local government area called the Faskari local government area, the Nigeria government and some northern governors, they organized what they call the peace parley between the deadly Fulani terrorists and the northwest of Nigeria. So it was meant to be all the terrorists from the northwest, all this Katsina, Sokoto, maybe not, partly Kaduna, and all those areas. So they were to come together and make peace with the terrorists. It won't be the first. It won't be the second. It, in fact, won't be like the 100th times peace meeting with the terrorists. But you don't make peace with terrorists. The reason why Nigeria continue to offer peace rather than justice against these terrorists is because their sponsors are those in government. It is as simple as that. So they called a peace meeting. The terrorists who have been killing, kidnapping, and burning down communities, their leaders came out. Ado Bayero was there. Another one called Babanla or something was there. Most of the wanted terrorist leaders, they were there with their own team, fully armed, by the way. Another ridiculous thing you will notice in this show of shame of the criminals in charge of Nigeria is that they are willing to organize peace talk with armed terrorists. But when it comes to the activists that are peacefully protesting and demanding for the rights of the people, right? Or demanding that the government should be responsible, then this military, these security guys, that is the time you get to know that, oh my God, so Nigerian police have all these weapons. Nigerian military, they have all these weapons because they are getting ready to face unarmed citizens regular. But when it comes to the terrorists, you know what they do? They disarm themselves. They don't go to such meetings with not even ordinary pen knife. They are not allowed. While the terrorists, in the full glare of the public, the camera, everybody, media, they will be brandishing their different, weapons. Because those who are supposed to put them either on the ground or put them in the ground or in the prison are there to negotiate for peace. So that's what they did in Katsina. And this was just after over 30 people were slaughtered in a mosque, right? So they called them and they were there to state their demands for peace. Nobody told us what the demands were. They just said they've signed a peace accord. The terrorists will no longer kidnap them. The terrorists will no longer kill them. And this was less than 24 hours ago. Then just between last night, and this morning, the terrorists have struck in about 3 to 4 different places in the area where they just made peace talk. They just had a peace talk. Just as they were walking away from the peace talk, they decided to take some what do you call that one? The spoil of the war, the spoil of the peace. So in Safed local government area in Zamfara state, it has now been reported that the terrorists struck again. They have kidnapped 40 people so far, as been accounted for. 40 people were taken from their own morning devotional prayer, what you call that, early morning prayer in the mosque. This is not even like them we're laying the infidels now. So it seems that everybody is a fair game to the terrorist. As you can see, this one is called Adobayero, right? And let me see if I can get this Adobayero, the way they have presented him, right? The way they presented Adobayero, they made him look like he's one folk hero. He himself controls the vast majority of the northwest and northeast when it comes to the Fulani terrorism in that axis. His mode of operation is so similar to that of the Boko Haram as well. He is so notorious. But at the same time, he seems just like a local folk hero, so to say. This guy sent his own mom, his wife, sent them to Mecca. The government of Nigeria, they were aware of that. Like he still kind of like live normal, like he's a normal person. He has slaughtered both military, police, NSA, DC, name them, the civil defense. He's got the list of the soldiers he's killed. They've declared him wanted, but this will be the second time in 2 months that he's appearing at the peace talk. He's even looking like a Tambua, before Tambua became a billionaire. You know Tambua? Yeah, it looks like the Métis, Tambua that is selling Métis. But as you are looking at him, he's a multi-billionaire. When I say multi-billionaire, this guy alone, from what we gathered, Adobayero at least controls more than 30%, he alone controls more than 30% of the terrorism industry in Nigeria. Do you understand what that means? So if they say the terrorism business or industry in Nigeria is now a multi-billion dollars industry where people are kidnapped at will and ransoms are paid, right, in tens, if not hundreds of millions. Adobayero alone has managed to get payouts, like cash out, from more than 4 northern state governors just buying peace. And on every occasion, he's reneged. At a point, they even wanted to kill him in Katsina. He escaped. Remember when he came out for one piece deal like that? There's another one, right? This one too is another deadly terrorist. They call him Babanla or something. Let me go check the name. Right? Baba something. Don't mind me. Oh, I get sometimes I don't hear. It's what is his name again? Yeah. So his real name is Makama Ishia Washen Garwa. I don't even know where he came from, right? So he's been operating in the axis of, like Katsina, Kaduna, Taraba, Yobe, Jigawa, all those axes like that. So he's prominent there. So they brought him out for peace talk too. But guess what? They came, they saw, and they walked away with several other victims. Why are you having peace talk with terrorists? Is the big question that you should be asking. And remember, when El Rufaya, the Kaduna Littlefinger, said that the mode of, or should I say the model plan that Tinubu's NSA, Referendum, the model plan they have for security, to securing Nigeria, is this non-kinetic thing, but pretty much like offering money to the terrorists. That those terrorists who have accepted their pay means the government can control their operation. For example, hey, guys, don't go here, don't go there, kind of. But here is the money. They were being paid. That's what El Rufaya said. and the government went into a straight meltdown. Why would they say that? Where is the evidence? Where is this? The evidence is that these kind of peace meetings are not convened. They are not called without the blessing of the national security advisor, your president, Referendum. Because their own is that if they can pay as many of them as possible, not to attack, they can control the attacks. They don't have any plan of crushing the terrorism per se. Because doing so is practically going to pit them against the real sponsor of the terrorism, who are indirectly also are the backers of the APC. I've given instances many times, all right? And I probably don't even have to anymore. But when you have a situation where terrorists can waltz into the town in their numbers, because they have been guaranteed that nobody will touch them. You get that now? And they drove into town majestically, fully armed. And of course, Nigeria kept her promise, because the terrorists will promise them for peace. Do you know that the ungoverned areas in Nigeria are the areas that are still pretty much currently still have Nigerians who are living there? They have not left. They are still there. They have nowhere to go. They are currently living under the rulership of these terrorists, and your government is aware of that. They are so aware of it enough that your government practically actually advises you that there are some ungoverned areas. That is not a media creation. In Nigeria, the terrorists have gained so much ground across the northern part of Nigeria, battling them so much in the middle belt part of Nigeria, while others have advanced even deeper into the southern part of Nigeria. Ungoverned areas. Areas where you will never see policemen, you will never see military, you will never see any security official, you won't see government presence. They've all fled. People living in these communities are now paying taxes to the terrorists controlling their own area for peace. Do you know something? Despite that, majority of them have been under this kind of terror-led leadership inside Nigeria for years. The terrorists still kill them at will. Yeah, to send a signal to other villages that they still blame them. The terrorists actually blame them that they are informants whenever the Nigeria military, right, comes for them. Mind you, coming for them in itself, right, is also subjective. Meaning, Tinubu's gang are not really interested, like Boko Haris, they are not interested in ending any problem. What they want to do is, manage it. Managing a problem means you can be seen to be doing something when you are doing nothing to end the problems. So in the process, they create more problems and they have more problems to manage, while the people are their direct victims whose lives have become so cheap that your criminal politicians don't even feel any whim whenever a life is lost. Yeah. So the terrorists are giving conditions and the criminals in power are willing to offer them. Give them as many yards as possible. You get that now? While at the same time pretend to be doing something. Oh, for example, they caught, Boko Haram, Boko Haram, and Saru's 2 leaders. Oh, that must be great. They were caught in another West African country. Oh, that's great. How is that now impacting the real terrorists that are terrorizing the people? Here is another twist, though. They brought something, they called it Operation Safe Corridor. I've been talking about that for years. And guess what? Tinubu has continued with that same package for terrorists. Operation Safe Corridor simply means whenever terrorists want to come and have their own cash out or whatever you, all they have to do is just to say, give us the Quran, and we say we won't do it again. And all of their sins forgiven, gone. Then we said, okay, if terrorists who repented, somebody, whether you were recruited as a child against your will, or I don't know, or you have actually carried weapons, arms against the innocent people of Nigeria on behalf of these terrorists, right? So if you are if you are actually giving up being a terrorist in the name of that Quran that they are using to swear for them, right? In the name of that Quran, if you are being honest that you are out of it completely, the next you should do is to at least give the authorities a useful information or useful information that they can use in neutralizing others who are yet to. It is only in Nigeria you will see these rogues from Borno to Niger to Katsina to Sokoto to all these, terror zones. Zamfara. That's why you're going to see some of these, rogues tell you that over 300,000 Boko Haram terrorists repented. Yet, there is no single information from the 300,000 repentant terrorists. Not a single information on how they can end the terrorism. Because the plan is not to end it. The plan is not to. So peace meeting with terrorists in itself is so easy when they come around to tell you that they don't negotiate with a terrorist, but openly they are celebrating what they called the repentant rehabilitation of the repentant terrorist. Like what the heck? While these terror leaders, right, have become kind of like celebrities of their own, ragtag terrorists, that somehow politicians and community leaders have their contacts. If they want peace meeting, they know how to reach them and call them out. If they want to, like, so 40 people were taken from Safe, local government area, this morning by the supposed terrorist peace talk attendees. And it's not just that. We have other attacks that have been reported in the last 24 hours. There is, I think somebody even put a list out. Yeah. They abducted 4 farmers into Numoriki in Zamfara just overnight. While they also kept, the security guys are busy too. According to this report, the security, the military, they repelled their attack, right? And then they rescue kidnapped victims somewhere in a place called the Sabon Masalashi village in Ketare ward of Kankara local government. That's it, local government area. And that is in Katsina. The same place they had meeting. The same state where they had peace meeting, right? They still went on to go and kidnap the people. Okay, they were rescued, repelled. All right. Somewhere in, to Tudumoriki, after Tudumoriki, they went on again, right, to kidnap another 12 people again in Zamfara. This is different from those they kidnapped from the Moscow, right? Let me go and check the area. The area is called Godai village in Bukuyum, local government area in Zamfara. All of this in the less than 24 hours ago that they had a peace meeting. Again, here. Oh, okay. I think that's pretty much of that. In Kirby, the military also had to kind of like repel them too. People where they come back from peace meeting, trying to get the list, right? In that same Faskari where they had peace talk, few hours after the peace talk that they said was successful, they staged an attack. An attack to kidnap people. So how many of these do you really think those who claimed to have security report, intelligence report, and all of that about the place, trying to protect Nigeria. How many of such attacks or these do they need to witness before they realize that they are not protecting you? They are aiding, encouraging, aiding and abetting these terrorists. As long as they can be under their control and let them know what they are doing, maybe they can remain terrorists. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun General.
Yes, sir. Baba, how are you?
I'm good, though, Maiyegun General.
This is probably like a nearly midnight in Japan. Is it Japan?
No. I'm calling from Ireland.
Oh, bless you. How come your number looks like that? Anyway, how are you, Baba?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm good, Maiyegun. Very happy to speak with you.
It's a pleasure.
Because
Baba.
I've been trying many times to get you, but it's very difficult. Number one.
Now, please.
Yes, sir. Number one, I want to thank you for your program. Your program has been wonderful, to be honest. And in fact, I have exchanged your program to the sermon. And for me, it's the sermon of life. Because because you are telling the truth, it's in a temple of truth. And that is what your program is.
So, it's not meant to make everybody comfortable, but it's just to make everyone think. Like you listen and you're like, okay. Then you begin to think about everything you've heard. Compare them to what you also know. Yeah.
Exactly. So my brother, thank you. I want just digress a little because I know, in fact, like what you're saying today is wonderful. After the agreement, peace talk, they still struck. That's to show you that these people, they can never change.
Oh.
So, as a member of those who never believe in one Nigeria, there's big question I used to ask any of them that believe that Nigeria will be good. I used to ask them, look, for example, if Nigeria is not one, for example, if Yoruba is a country, would Yoruba now, Omoduduwa state, can't they have steady electricity? And that one will open his mouth and say, yes, they will have electricity. And I ask Benin man, if, for example, Benin is a country, can't they provide themselves common steady electricity? And they will say yes. I will not ask them, if Yoruba is a country, with their police so corrupt, like as we have, they say never. I not ask them again, if, for example, Yoruba is their own country, did they think that this insecurity, it will be happening in their land? And they will say no. I said, then why are you supporting one Nigeria? Because in one Nigeria, you will never have steady electricity. In one Nigeria, this insecurity will continue. In one Nigeria, your police will remain corrupt. In one Nigeria, look, all this is, I used to ask and say, for example now, in Nigeria, even married woman, if you want to go and look for work, the other one fuck her before you give her work. I don't know, if Yoruba is a country, will that what happen? He said never. I said, but after Nigeria remain one, this thing will continue to be happening. So why are you supporting that we will not divide that country?
And what did the person say? Probably speechless.
He will say, he will speechless. He's speechless. He only tell me, say, you people want to go, but you will never go. I say, but as you're holding us, everybody is suffering.
You don't understand. When people say, when somebody says, for example, right? If somebody says, the Biafrans, they won't go anywhere. They can continue to make all the noise. I said, it is somehow tantamount to somebody holding you down, that you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But you say yourself, you don't go anywhere.
Oh.
You get that? Like, if people can read very well, like holding people down generally, all right? Except to hold you down, hold you here.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. Not an inch.
Yes.
But guess what? You two are not going anywhere. As much as
you're not going anywhere.
You probably have no dream of going anywhere, that I will have to rescue you to get myself off. But you should remember that you will be stagnant too. Whatever it is, why you want me to remain that stagnant, right? You will be stagnant too. And you won't be holding that grip for too long as well. You will loosen it at a point. People will say.
No, tell them that look, we are suffering one Nigeria now. It's not paying anybody.
No.
He's not paying anybody. He's not even paying even the North. He's not paying them. The only people that is going on is those people who have political power and those that is inside. For example, you see El-Rufai, he's no more in power. Now he gets sense. If they are in power, they don't get sense. So he doesn't see clearly. That's why I laugh.
Lie too, because we have seen that all the time. Right? When they have that power,
yes.
Oh, sorry, before they have that power, they have all of the solutions.
Exactly.
Right? So when they now have that power, then they will begin to have all the excuses. Then when they lose that power, suddenly they come back to life. They start having the solution again. Like, they say, okay, what about the time where you were there? Why didn't you try that? And they say, but I tried to. But it's just that, I say, oh, God damn it. So it's always been like that. And people have let them.
I was shocked the day I hear El-Rufai say that the only repentant terrorist is the one in the grave. I said, what? Is it El-Rufai that is saying this? But when he was in power, he said, we give them money. If anybody has any other solution, if you come forth. Imagine. When he was in power.
Look at this. Nigeria is trying to proscribe IPOB as a terrorist organization, but they've not killed anyone. They've not kidnapped anyone, all of that. But the Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram, that have actually killed and kidnapped and wreaked havoc, they are being given amnesty. What do you think?
Give him money.
You know what his response was, El-Rufai? He said,
the
Boko Haram are not trying to break up Nigeria.
Imagine.
He said,
the
Boko Haram are just doing, and this is his statement too, I'm not even making it up. He said, the Boko Haram are just doing business. The IPOB want to break Nigeria. That one is more serious than what the Boko Haram are doing. But today,
that was when he was in power.
When he was in power.
That was when he was in power.
Today, he's telling us that a dead terrorist is a repentant terrorist. Because he's
just imagine. Just imagine. That's why, in fact, I used to thank God. I used to laugh. If you see the type of happiness when I see El-Rufai crying now, I say, wow. That's so the thing they change so fast. Just 2 years ago, when he was with Buhari, he's like heaven and earth.
If you do agree, there were those who put the idea that criticizing Boko Haram, for example, now you're like criticizing Boko Haram, you are talking about his policies, and you are talking about the Fulani terrorists that have been allowed. The likes of El-Rufai were the ones who helped, change the narrative to anybody who is saying that is actually hating the Fulanis, and that person also, hates Nigeria. If you say Boko Haram is so clueless, he is so lifeless, they will say you are attacking the North. They will say you are attacking the North. If you criticize the way they are handling the Fulani terrorists and all that, they will say you get Fulani phobia. And because say you hate Fulanis. It was the gone behind that, bring behind all of that. And that is the same thing that the Ronukus are using today. If you see anything they will say it's because you hate the Yorubas. You are enemy of Nigeria. If you say this country is this and that right now, Tinubu has finished this country, they will say, shut up your mouth. You people are enemy of Nigeria. You people you hate the Yorubas so much because the person there is a Yoruba man. It is the same.
It's a Yoruba man.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Okay, now.
And now, unfortunately, when Boko Haram was the North, an average Northerner cannot tell you what exactly was that benefit he benefited in the Northern.
Thank you.
Under Boko Haram.
Thank you.
Nobody can come out and say, except for their normal, their political anger-ons, those crumb eaters, crumb chasers. Ordinary person in the North cannot tell you what he benefited. Is he
nothing.
Healthcare.
Nothing.
Employment.
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
We are witnessing
it still remains the same
in the South.
Still remains the same. So, like now, my brother, before I drop, like for example, what I used to ask my Yoruba brothers, for example, now, when Boko Haram was there, there are some Yoruba people who are in exile.
Yes.
Wait, these people that went in exile, that they have their father's land,
yes.
and the Fulani people chase them away.
Yes.
And you go and build camp. Why can't they return back? They say it's conflict. Okay, after conflict, Abi, you kill cow, they kill you. Then why? How can they left their origin? Now, in fact, this thing for me is difficult to understand. Even now, Yoruba man is the president, but those people have not come back to their father's land. What is happening?
Let me tell you something.
Eh?
The first thing they normally do is to deny, okay? When Bokwari came, he did not hide his intention to provide security for the Fulani others. Let's now just say, let's assume that there are also Fulanis. No, There's actually a fact. Fulanis were also suffering from the real Fulani others. They were suffering from what is called cattle rustling. Some group of criminals, they will attack them, kill them, and take their cows. Right? Now, that's a problem. Before some of them now started claiming that the reason why they became bandits or terrorists was because they stole their cows. Remember, that was the genesis. They used to say that. They say, it's because they attacked them, they took their... But when Bokwari came in, you know what he did? He did not care about how you are going to feel or what you are going to say. He went straight into Nigerian army, created a section whose job had to be following cows all over the country, protecting. Remember, he carved out a branch of Nigerian army. They drafted people like this. They matched them on the field like this. They said they are the something protection, something in the military. Their job is that anywhere Fulani others get problem, direct number, they will call their commander. They will use every military. They will come down. Why am I saying this? While they are doing that, by style, the Fulani terrorists that they imported and those ones that are already in Nigeria, they were advancing. Based on whatever the agenda they have, they were advancing. And at the same time, there is this unwritten command that they have immunity. Nobody should touch them. From Bokwari, all of this, to protect whatever agenda he had, he did not hide it. The Yoruba man is still today. If you go to our settlements in the Oyo North, not a part of Yoruba land, most of those people who have farms there can't even go to their farms anymore. I'm talking about farms that are settlement, that a government recognized settlement, that are located land, because most of those people have. If you go to Ondo State, if you go to Osun, you will see how much of our people have become so isolated in their own space. But guess what?
Jesus.
Tinubu and his gang would rather live in denial. Do you get that now? Like it's not happening, or it is little, it's not that big. In order for them not to confront it, like Bokwari felt like cows' lives are more important, that he carved out a section in the Nigerian army to protect cows. Tinubu is denying it. That is happening. They would rather deny it than face it.
And it's happening.
And it's
happening.
Was it not just yesterday? Was it not yesterday or 2 days ago? I shared a video of a man who just paid 10.5 million naira ransom in Kwara. It is happening. It's all over the place. But they would rather deny it so that they don't look bad. Do you get that now? Now, I was talking to one Ronuku randomly. You know what he told me? He said, you know that all these northerners, they are trying to remove Tinubu. So if Tinubu decides to start protecting Yorubas from these terrorists now, he's going to boomerang. So maybe after Tinubu come back in 2027, he will now do what you are saying. That is this brain of his and there are many like that. So whoever is between now and 2027, for Tinubu to be able to come back, so they should die. But for now, it is not happening.
Wait, that means they kill themselves. They accepted that they will die for Tinubu to take power. Now they kill them. They do everybody. Tinubu have take power. Now they have to die again for Tinubu to finish 4 years.
Because these other people want to remove him.
Oh my God!
Maiyegun, you know Nigeria better. These people are doing everything. If he starts kind of like going after them now, they will do everything to remove him. I was like, I get it. Now my fault. I mean, they talk to you. And my phone, I mean,
exactly. But I want to ask that guy. Well, what they don't know is that, for example, like when Buhari was there, do anybody think is the vote that is put Buhari second term? It's not the vote.
No.
He will put here, write the result and give the person that will call it. Very simple. So anything when you talk, he command Nigerian police, he command Nigerian army, he command the court, and they say he's the winner. Finish. That's why I'm sorry, Maiyegun. Yeah. Like, for example, for me now, I want to hit a bombshell. Look, for me, I'll be fully obedient. But for me, you know, for me, the wisest politician now, do you know the person I call the wisest politician?
Who?
Kenneth Okonkwo.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Why?
Kenneth Okonkwo have known that if everybody vote P2B, the winner will still be Tinubu. So he collected money from Atiku and be crying for Atiku.
But he doesn't even have to collect. You see, most times, there's something called positioning. If you notice, right, most of the guys that some people are accused of collecting money, sometimes, right, it's not that money. It is positioning. And mostly when you listen to them, when all of them are talking, pay attention to. Remove the mind that, oh, they don't pay this one. No. Remove that mind first. Listen. You realize that that's how I got to know that he's working for Atiku. Or he would love to be in Atiku's camp. He categorically gave himself up in that way by positioning himself as somebody who, if I want to go and defend somebody on on TV now, to convince people, what kind of person what kind of things should I look for? Oh, we need somebody who had a presidential experience. We need somebody who is not from the South. Oh, we need somebody who has money. We need somebody. So who fits into this criteria? I don't have to say. I'm just saying that's the kind of person we need. So now we're going to put the person in that box and say, okay, on this box of person we get presidential experience, Atiku, put on there. The one we get money, we Atiku. The one we get connection enough, like I can also hire people within the system, right, to rig as well. Who be that person who could pay? Atiku, put on inside that box. What about people who people wanted to vote for? No, it's not about voting for. It's about who can rig.
It's not about voting for. The vote is not counting.
So it's positioning itself. Because in the long run, right? In the long run, like if Peter Obi became your president in Nigeria in 2023, Kenneth Okonkwo right now would be probably an appointee. They would have found him something, and it would have doubled a lot because he did a lot in that 2023, no doubt.
Yeah.
So in this
he did a lot.
He's also positioning. Don't be surprised when they announce and say, "Oh, Atiku's campaign team, Kenneth Okonkwo." Positioning.
Yeah.
That will be the time the will now come.
Yeah.
You know Shegun Showumi?
But he knows that.
Remember that Shegun Showumi?
Yes.
Remember him from my own state, Ogun State.
That was clear for Obi.
You get it was vying for Obi. Then he met with Tinubu. Then suddenly Tinubu became the most smartest, most brainy person. And when the Obi started calling him out, he just went straight for Obi. He called Obi Martel or something. No, he called him something. And they're like, Baba, what's happened now? Like you met Tinubu yesterday. Today, you don't go mad everywhere. It is called positioning.
Yeah.
You go position yourself. And once they holler at you, you just grab them.
Fighting for their belly.
Likely shock you too. Maybe not that much.
Thank you. All right.
You have a good
brother. Thank you very much.
You know, it's crazy, right? You need to understand. That's why when you are dealing with anything in Nigeria, from my own experience, my own tiny, small experience, right? I have learned that you don't go all the way, especially when people are pretending to be fighting for Nigeria or one Nigeria. They are mostly not honest people. You may be honest because you want one Nigeria that works, right? And that is what pays the abuse because they have to pretend that they also care. But this time, they want to do it. But most of the time, it's all lies. You know, trying to find a means of getting your own little, part of the pie. And you can bite the Nigerian proverbial pie or national cake by different means. You don't even have to be a politician. They don't even have to appoint you into their political offices. And you can still continue to bite the proverbial national cake. Because the criminals in Nigeria, over time, especially if you remember the story of the Soldiers of Fortune, it's not story, it's a book. Soldiers of Fortune. The military rule in Nigeria, the characters, and now they depleted the country. What did they do with their loot? How did they move all their loot? What about the proxies that took the money for them? The monies that Nigeria will never find again, will never see again. And I'm talking about hundreds of millions of pounds, of dollars, of name it. Soldiers of Fortune. You know, the military rule, the oil windfall, and God, man. One of them is Jeremiah Husseini. Jeremiah Husseini sounds about right, yeah? Yeah, you know him. I'll tell you more about him because I'm actually going to read an article on him to you. So they said they bought one house in London as far back as 1992, 93 or thereabouts, right? And the value of the house was like 740,000 pounds. But the property was bought in fake name. Now with fake name. Money stolen from Nigeria, invested in properties in the UK. And guess what, right? There were so many mansions, properties abandoned that were believed to be owned by many corrupt African criminal politicians. And a chunk of that from Nigeria. I think it was last year, there was a ruling that said they should forfeit some of these unclaimed properties, estates, big stuff. In the UK, will be forfeited to the states since nobody is forthcoming to claim them. So to say, or the last person that was kind of like known as the owner or the occupant, they are dead and there's nobody turning up again. Stolen money from Nigeria, invested in real estate in the UK for decades. It's been like that. And most of them are bought either in their girlfriend's name, their friend's name, their concubines like that, boyfriends, and other funny associates. Most of them that they are paraded in front of your TV in Nigeria as partners, investors. They are those who help them to ferry these monies out of the country. Jeremiah Husseini is dead, I think today. But the story is so, I don't know, like, is it funny or so embarrassing? Right? And sad. Actually, that's the word. It's very sad. They try to game the system, but not for long. Only for the human rights lawyer or constitutional lawyer, Michael Zekome, the one that was telling us about why Nigeria is not working and won't work, not on this fake constitution or so. He's now fingered in this battle for the ownership of a property that is purely proceed of corruption. Oh, I'm going to share it. Let me read it. Right? 1 second though. Let me share the screen so it will make sense. I should be reading and you'll be watching me like, okay, we're listening. Jeremiah or Jerry Husseini caught in a web of forgery, fake death, and false names in UK property. That's what Tech Cable used as their own rider. So let's use that. I'll bring it on the screen and I'll read it out. Take my intermittent break and then take calls. Okay? So the rogues looting Nigeria from time immemorial, right? Even in death, they still very much causes a ruckus. Now let's try it this way. The story, the beginning. So this case began with what appeared to be a routine application at the land registry in London in February 2023. How did Zekome become part of this? We'll see. So here is the story. Oh, hang on. It's my screen. Right. So Zekome, Michael Zekome sought to register a transfer of the property executed in his favor in August 2021 by Mr. Tali Shani. Tali Shani is Jeremiah Husseini or Jerry Husseini, a former minister in Nigeria under the military rule, by the way. So Zekome was working to get the property transferred to him because, according to him, the owner, Mr. Tali Shani is a fake name, to let you know. So Mr. Tali Shani has given the property to him, Michael Zekome, as a gift, I think, in London. So Zekome now was making a move to get it transferred to himself. And dear Kasala burst. So here I said, but when the solicitors representing Miss Tali Shani, oh, hang on. Let's start from here, right? She said, when the solicitors representing Miss Tali Shani is also a fake name, just like Mr. Tali Shani. Miss Tali Shani is a fake name created, but you know the wonderment here, Baba, this fake identity gets NIN in Nigeria, BVN, ECOWAS passports, Nigeria passport, all of this stuff manufactured in Nigeria to deceive the court in the UK. So they said, Mr. Tali Shani transferred the property to Mr. Tali Shani. Mr. Tali Shani is now fighting Ozekome, I think, because Ozekome said Mr. Tali Shani transferred it to him. But there is no Mr. Tali Shani, there is no Mr. Tali Shani. Or fake. But what is real is that the Mr. Tali Shani happened to be Jerry Husseini. And Michael Zekome is also real, a constitutional lawyer in Nigeria who possibly knows about this fraud. Right? But yeah, Nigerian lawyers are very famous for that. We'll come to that. So they say effectively, both Mr. Tali Shani and Mr. Tali Shani, one male, the other female, were claiming ownership of the same property. So what followed, the tribunal said, was a quite extraordinary series of hearings filled with mutual accusations of forgery, conspiracy, corruption, and impersonation. Fake identity and web of lies first. So central to the case was the identity of a Mr. Tali Shani, who never appeared before the tribunal, despite multiple adjournments. In 2024, our lawyers said she was hospitalized and later produced documents claiming she had died in Nigeria. The tribunal examined those documents closely. Medical reports, a Nigerian national identity slip, a mobile phone bill, a death certificate, and even an obituary notice. Anakwe Marcel Obasi had testified as a witness claiming to be a cousin of the applicant. He claimed that late cousin Miss Tali Shani and the late General Jeremiah Husseini had a very long affair, an affair that I believed lasted a decade and remained cordial and friendly afterwards. Obasi claimed that his cousin, Miss Tali Shani, had told him that she once wanted to move to the UK but changed her mind. But then gave money to the late Jeremiah Husseini to assist her in the purchase of a property in London, where she was going to reside in the early 1990s. So the witness admitted that he had not produced a single photograph of himself with his supposed cousin, Husseini, the respondent, or even his purported nephew, Damola. So he said, photographer, this is the web of lies, photographer killed by bandits. So when pressed on this, he explained that he was not a photogenic person and that he never found it necessary to take such pictures. Regarding the alleged funeral, rites, and burial of his cousin, Mr. Tali Shani, he said, Mr. Tali Shani, he said that there had been an official photographer present, but added a dramatic claim that the photographer was killed by a bandit 2 days after the funeral. Ayodele Damola, who claimed to be the biological son of Mr. Lishani, said his mother purchased the property in 1993. He also claimed that his mother was in a relationship with Hussaini in that period, and that my mother, through General Hussaini, agreed to rent out the property rather than living the same fallow. So Damola also alleged that the transfer of the property to Zekome was an attempt by Hussaini to repay 54 million naira, which he had borrowed from the senior lawyer for an election campaign. Now here Zekome enter. So Damola, the cousin to, so the nephew to Mr. Lishani, claiming that Mr. Lishani had transferred the property to Ozekome. And because Mr. Lishani, oh, hang on, that can mix it. Right? Okay, let's take that again. It's confusing, right? So, said Damola also alleged that the transfer of the property to Ozekome was an attempt by Hussaini to read. Okay, so it was Hussaini that transferred the property to Ozekome. So the bone of contention from Damola now is that Hussaini bought the house, but the money used in buying the house was given to Hussaini by Mr. Lishani, who is now dead. But 2 days after a burial, a funeral, the photographer that took pictures of the funeral got killed by bandits, so they don't have any evidence of the funeral. So to say, so it is now that Hussaini was the one who now gave the house to Ozekome. So who is Mr. Talishani? But for those who probably remember Jeremiah Hussaini or Jerry Hussaini in Jaws back in the days, right? They said most of his investments have names like Tali, Shani, Tali, this Tali, or Shani that. So is Mr. Talishani, a fake name that, anyway, let's continue. He said, he told the tribunal that the general had first asked his mother to, okay, sorry, Damola is actually the son to Mr. Lishani. Sorry about that. Damola is now the daughter to Mr. Lishani, who says that the general had first asked his mother to transfer the property to the respondent, but when she refused, they then persuaded a poor innocent man, presumably Mr. Talishani, to apply for a passport and pose as the owner. Web of lies, confusing, right? So Mr. Talishani, okay, let me just rack my brain a bit, okay. So Jeremiah Hussaini was supposed to buy a house for Mr. Lishani. When they bought the property is in the name of one Mr. Talishani. So now, Jeremiah Hussaini asked Mr. Lishani to transfer the property to Ozekome, but she refused. So Jeremiah Hussaini now hired a man called Talishani to go and get passport and go and pose as the owner of the house. I don't get that. Because the property is in the name of Mr. Talishani. You'll see the property, don't worry. You will. But here, I think I'll put it more like bigger. Now, public money, where they steal, they travel all these places so far. You get? So, anyway, now a series of contradictions and discrepancies. While Obasi had claimed Mr. Lishani was terminally ill, resided in Lagos and barely had any mobility, Damola, in an affidavit, said his mother died in a road accident along Jos Abuja Road. The purported death certificate stated that she died in a hospital, while an affidavit sworn in Abuja on the 7th of October 2024 by her supposed son claimed that she had died on 3rd October 2023 by accident along Jos Plateau State and Abuja Way. Another contradiction was that on the obituary, a Thanksgiving service was listed for Sunday, November 30, 2024, but that date did not match the calendar. Now, Mrs. Talichani Bidato. How ya we gone? Like people craze mental gone new, but wait, let me see if I can put it boldly on the screen. See Mrs. Talishani, late Miss Talishani, 79. But the funniest is that this person doesn't exist at all. She doesn't exist. And Ozekome, who is a constitutional lawyer, is in the middle of it because of who is going to kind of like officially get the property in their name. Do you get it now? So this said that on the November 30th, 2024 was actually a Saturday, with the Sunday falling on December 1. This mismatch was one of the factors that led the tribunal to dismiss the obituary as a forgery. There were also discrepancies in Ms. Dali Shani's date of death, presented by the witnesses. Fake NIN, fake address. Festus Esongbedo, head of legal, regulatory and compliance services at the National Identification Number, National Identity Management Commission, NIMC rather, testified that he investigated the National Identification Number, NIN slip presented by Talishani was fake, fraudulent, and not authorized by the commission. Zekome is involved in all these forgeries. Just don't mix it together. Here you get. Because the purpose was to get the UK tribunal to transfer the ownership of the property to him, Ozekome. Not that he's representing anybody here. Information is that Jerry Husseini owed Ozekome 54 million naira. And the 54 million naira, to pay for that, Jeremiah Husseini wants Ozekome to have a 740,000 pounds property in London. You get that now? So they now have to create a persona for this tally, or I don't know. Because anyway, let's continue. This is Miss Tali's and I actually don't know about. Jesus Christ. Did they see Mrs. Tali? You see her NIN. Now her NIN be that. And it is fake. So the NIN slip was forged according to NIMC. Further investigation said confirmed it was obtained by irregular means, leading to its complete removal from the system. Among the irregularities he highlighted were that the registration was done remotely in Monaco rather than in person. No fingerprints were captured because the unknown agents who created the NIN had fraudulently made use of the amputee provisions. Provisions of. Do you understand that? How you seeing gone, man? The person wanted to make the fake document, right? Fill the part that said the applicant is an amputee, which means they've cut off their limb, so they can't thumbprint. So no thumbprinting. Mr. Lee. So another witness, Ibrahim Sini, a superintendent with the Force Intelligence Department, Nigerian Police Force, traced the mobile bill, supposedly in the name of Mr. Lee, Shani, back to its real source. More than do ECOWAS travel document for Miss Shani. Do you see that? Let me see if I can bring that up. See that document? That's a big document. That's ECOWAS document. Travel document. For somebody we know exists to, but the plan, is to finally possibly go claim the house. Because 750,000 pounds house. How much is 100,000 pounds? 100,000 pounds is like a 200 million naira. So 200 million times 7. 1.4 billion naira. Maybe a roughly of a 1.5 billion naira. Have you only thief? Or a drug addict? No, only thief will use a property of 1.5 billion naira to settle the debt of 54 million naira. Something is just not right. It's shady. I know some people will be like, they are not surprised, you know? Let's continue. They did ECOWAS travel document for her. So inquiries with the telecommunications company revealed that the account was actually registered to Mohammed Edewo, the Lagos solicitor connected with the applicant's legal team. State intelligence operatives in Jos were then dispatched to verify the address. They went there physically. Sini testified and confirmed that this address simply did not exist. Oh, fake son, fake cousin. We'll get into that part now. The judge concluded that all the evidence to prove Ms. Talishani's identity were fraudulent. In quote, I do not accept that she was ever a real living person. I do not accept that she therefore died, whether in the hospital or in a mysterious car accident on the road to Abuja. I certainly do not accept that she purchased this property in London in 1993 in her heydays, nor do I accept that Mr. Yodele Damola is her son, or that Mr. Anokwe Obasi is her cousin, the tribunal held. So he added that the evidence showed forgery and deception and struck out the case as an abuse of process. The case has been pursued by others in the name of a person who never existed. The judgment declared. Now, Ozekome's case collapsed. Remember that Ozekome is he's at the heart of it. Like, he's the one who wants to take the property. He's the one they want to give the property to, according to his own application, that he is the rightful owner since Mr. Jeremiah Husseini or Mr. Ali Shani gave him the property. So Ozekome, who presented himself in the later stages of the proceedings, argued that the property was transferred to him in 2021 by Mr. Talishani, who he claimed was the true registered owner. Although Husseini registered it in the name of Ms. Talishani. He admitted that he had never known Mr. Talishani before January 2019, and that he had no personal knowledge of the original 1993 purchase of the London property or of its management in the years that followed. Instead, he relied on his relationship with Husseini, whom he had known for over 2 decades, as both a client and a friend. According to Ozekome, his acquaintance with Mr. Shani developed after their introduction in 2019. He described Shani as a man from a wealthy family involved in farming cattle, groundnuts, and mangoes, and as a big property guy engaged in commercial dealings. Hey, Ozekome. Ozekome stated that he undertook a number of legal matters for him, winning several cases. These services, he said, ranged from advisory work to court appearances. Although pressed, he declined to produce documentary proof of this work, citing the shield of client confidentiality and privilege. The central plank of Ozekome's evidence related to the transfer of the London property to him in 2021. He insisted that the transfer was a gift from Mr. Shani, given in gratitude for the extensive legal services he had rendered in the 2 years since their introduction. I know you are laughing right now because you can easily see that. Damn it, man. You see, your elite, they are not different from those who are defending Bokwari and his NEPA bill. They are not different from the senior advocate of New Sons, who are also defending Tinubu and his drug heroin trafficking deal. Yeah? It's just about them getting their own cut from the national cake. So he insisted that the transfer was a gift from Mr. Shani. Ozekome testified that Shani felt beholden to him, even describing him as a father figure. He denied ever paying the £500,000 mentioned in Shani's statement or any other sum in cash. Instead, he argued that the property was transferred to him as recognition that the value of his legal services exceeded that amount. Okay, possibly. It's 1.5 billion naira in Nigeria. I don't think that is too much for a senior advocate of a nuisance. I mean, they are billing them more. Tinubu paid billions to the guys who made his drug dealing, heroin trafficking evidence never to see the light of the day in the court, in Nigerian courts. So yeah, maybe the chicken change. Baba, but now looted fund they take by him. That is why nobody can boldly come out and say, I am the owner. Even if they did, who's going to actually really do anything to them? Anyway, Ozekome. So, but the tribunal found this story equally false. Mr. Talishani did not purchase this property himself in 1993, and so had no title of his own to pass to the respondent, the judge ruled. The court said the narrative advanced by Ozekome and supported by his son amounted to a contrived story, invented in an attempt to provide a plausible reason for the transfer. Something that now that judge they go settle in Nigeria, and Ozekome go write it as one of his achievements in court. I have fought property law in the UK, in America, in all those places. I have worked as a lawyer. I lawyer for who? For your corrupt friends, for your criminal friends. Most of them that you've always like been shielding from the real, in order for them to go and commit more crimes. So that all of us can then become motivational speaker. Why our leaders need to do the right thing. We need leadership who love this country. We don't need people who are so selfish. Meanwhile, all of them did the same WhatsApp group. Robbing us. Rubbing it on our faces, right? But the mumus. Here, they said the real Shani is... So the tribunal accepted that a man named Mr. Talishani exists and holds a genuine Nigerian passport, but found his claim of buying a London property in 1993 at age 20 to be implausible and unproven. Did you hear me? Mr. Chani, with the document they presented, was 20-year-old young man in 1993 when he coughed out that amount of money to buy property in London. Mr. Chani, 20-year-old, high right. Anyway, so Chani, who testified as, they don't go find Mr. Chani. So Chani, who testified as Ozekome's witness, had claimed in his evidence that he bought it with his own money as an investment and appointed Hussaini to manage it from the start. However, the tribunal held that his account lacked detail, supporting documents, and credibility, and that his explanations, claiming wealth from cattle and mango sales, were unconvincing. Like, how many mango you think he will sell for that time? You say, oh, like, I don't know, like cattle and mango. Damn it, Nigerian lawyers. Damn. They don't go cook everything, say, when we get to that UK tribunal, you just say that, okay, don't worry, I will back it up with some legal quotes. Some legal quotes. Say, okay, sir, I'll do that. You know. Anyway, however, said his stated purchase price conflicted with documentary evidence showing the property was first bought in 1993 by one Phillips Binkan for £110,000. Shannon later altered his story, but could not reconcile the discrepancies. His testimony slashed with Hussaini's own statement that they only met years later, with Shannon approaching him in 2010 to manage the property. You see the conflicting there, right? It's obvious it's fake, right? So the tribunal therefore concluded that Shani had nothing to do with the 1993 purchase. Nothing. So here is the real story. And this is the property I'll show you. Hussaini used false name to buy the property. That's the real story. Hussaini was eventually called to testify as a witness. The retired general, who died in January 2025, gave video testimony in June 2024, confirming that he, not anyone called Talishani, bought the property in 1993. I owned it. I bought the property before I gave it to someone to run. I paid the deposit, then bit by bit, I bought it. It is my property. He told the court, here is the property, the house, that is now 740,000 pounds in value. I said, so the property, the property is 76 Randall Avenue in London, right? So here is the conclusion I would say. The tribunal noted that Hussaini's evidence was consistent with documents showing the 1993 purchaser as Phillips Binkan, another alias, another fake name. The tribunal concluded that the London property was purchased by Hussaini, who was also a Minister of Transport under Ibrahim Babangida, and not the man claiming to be Mr. Talishani. Although the property was registered under the name Talishani, the tribunal held that evidence from a Jersey court case showed that Hussaini had the practice of using false or coded names, such as Tim Chani, for bank accounts and companies. The court held that the similarity of names and timing strongly supported the finding that Hussaini deliberately used the false name Talishani to register the property. The tribunal ruled that since Mr. Talishani had no legal title to transfer London property to Zekome, the chief land registrar must cancel Zekome's application to be registered as proprietor. The evidence showed Hussaini, who was the real owner of the property, had directed the transfer to Zekome, of course. The tribunal rejected shifting claims by Zekome and Shani about consideration for the transfer, ranging from cash payment to legal services worth over £500,000 to gifts of property to a gesture of gratitude, finding them contradictory, implausible, and fabricated. So the court concluded that Shani was merely a conduit used by Hussaini, who had registered the property in the false name Talishani in 1993, and therefore Shani could not pass ownership to Zekome. So sorry. As to precisely why General Hussaini chose to direct this transfer to the respondent, I do not need to, and indeed cannot, make detailed findings. I consider that it is highly possible that it was in satisfaction of some debt or favor owed. So, end story, or the end of story. They will loot in Nigeria, and some of this money have been lost to some of these countries where these properties are, hidden, or some of these bank accounts are never to be known from the money they stole from their people in Nigeria. When everybody laments about Nigeria is a poverty country, Nigeria is poor, this or that, the criminals from 1990s, they are not different from the criminals from the 1980s. Same, not different from the criminals from the 1970s. It's just that they become more and more notorious, and they gain notoriety over time. And the victims are still pretty much the same. Nigerians. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay. Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Idris, are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Brilliant. Please, go on.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Thank you for everything that you're doing, sir. We really appreciate you. for your exposés. God continue to bless your wisdom. So I want to start from the last one you mentioned now, which is Talishani. This is just one out of 100 that happens in Nigeria currently, because the politician, or let me say,
that reminds me of something, right? When you look at the Yahoo boys, right?
Yes, exactly.
Tend to have all of their kind of like their plays and all that. But if you pay attention very well, those Yahoo boys making themselves think they are this, they are not as slick as they are criminal politicians who can move billions, right? Under fake name, under fake anything, and they will still attend the Jumat on Friday. And they will still attend the Thanksgiving on Sunday to go and do praise and worship. But yet they've moved fortune out of the country under false name. That you can't even imagine. Go on.
You see, what I said is that, you see, you normally say something, they are not even politicians, they are politicians. So they are thieves, and they are also being tricky at the same time. Because, for example, I believe in the Western world, I don't think you need huge sum of money to enter any election. And moreover, even for you to enter any position, government position, you are only going there to serve people. You are not there to embezzle money. But it is in Nigeria that we see it as a career. Just like every other professional career, we see politicians as a career. You see someone that has spent over 10, 20, 30 years. Look at the likes of the former Farouk Lawan, this former Senate president. He has been in the position for over God knows when. And the likes of many others, they are still there, and they keep embezzling money. They keep embezzling. For you to enter any politics, you have to go and lend a lot of money. I know a lot of politicians that, as of today, sir, before they can enter any position, they've lent a lot of money. Okay, look at the likes of this. I saw a post recently, I think today, about this Anambra APC governor candidate. That's Nicholas Ukachukwu something. He was embarrassed because he was embarrassed. It's on social media. So he one public.
I think it's the APC candidate.
APC governorship candidate. That's Nicholas Ukachukwu something. He was embarrassed. He allegedly won something of 1 billion.
They didn't say
now,
what they bought from them now.
Maiyegun, you and I know that they are all collecting this money just for them to buy themselves some ways into the elected position. And once they enter the position, the first 2 or 3 years, they are going to amass some wealth that they're going to use to pay back. Now, you that you are collecting crumbs, you are collecting 5,000 naira, 2,000 naira. You are saying it is my inheritance of my forefathers that I'm collecting from them. You are eating. Don't you know that once they enter, they will make sure they accumulate all the money they need to. And now, the foreign party, even when they are trying to leave, they are going to make sure that they draft some draconian law that's going to make sure that it's going to till they die, they are still going to be amassing wealth. Look at the likes of Abacha, look at the likes of Babangida. Their family can never be poor, and now they are not in power. And yet, till tomorrow, they are still going to be rich. So this country, I keep saying that the last thing that the reality of a bad thing that's going to happen to us again is if Tinubu enter again the next election. But the fact remains that, Maiyegun, if the election comes today, all those people that are still crying foul, they are still going to vote for this person just because of sentimental or just because of this tribalism, ethnicity, and this and that. Maiyegun, I have been advocating to people that the only 2026 is going to be the worst year again. Maiyegun, why is that every year is like a worst, just like just like the time of Tinubu, I mean the time of what we call it, Buhari, it is even good though. Meanwhile, it is even rubbish then. But God though, even
you know what? Whatever you think you are going through under Tinubu right now, that is going to come next will be worse. Because I remember people used to say, "Oh, forget it too. There's nobody that will be worse than Bokwari. This Bokwari is worse." Back then, even this Tinubu that is doing like this, there's no way it's going to be worse to like Bokwari. Today, the story don't change.
The story has changed. 2026 is going to be more.
It's like it's okay. it's okay to be going through what you are going through in that contraption right now. You know, like it's all right. Instead of being grateful.
Maiyegun, sir. 2020 is going to be worse. And I have some. I dropped out some things that are going to make it worse. Number one, if you buy petrol more than at least 10 liters or something, you pay some charges on it. You pay some interest. I mean, some tax. If you now they are bringing under and yes, 5%. Now, currently we are paying. If someone send me 10,000 naira into my this fintech app like OP, Money Points, and what have you, they would deduct 15 naira from my account. Yes. Now, calculate 15 naira times millions of people that are using the application. They are collecting that. FRS is collecting that money. Now, another law is now coming up with again that something that all of us that we are even collecting little from these our workers, our be it private worker or public worker, they'll still be collecting money. Everybody. Next year now, a lot of people that are even trying to these market women that they are trying to put their money into bank. Now they are going to be forced to remove their money, be holding the money in their house. Another thing is that crime is going to increase because recently there has been reduction in crime because people are not they are not keeping money. But now I don't even understand why. I don't know. They are not even giving them foresight. I'm not giving them foresight
about that. I don't want to probably like put anybody in any panic mode where it's going to happen. Okay, they just said that the IRS, FIRS, or whatever body they give the authority, right? They will be the ones to determine which of your money they are going to tax and which one they are not. Because
just imagine,
right? They will have access to your bank, and they are telling people that if you have, for example, me that sends a lot of money to the family back in Nigeria for the upkeep of the kids and welfare stuff, share you yet. Now that money, right, will possibly put my family in the category of their probably like 3-4%. Reason is this: they believe that anybody who is earning less than 70,000 naira won't pay taxes. Okay, so if you are earning 70,000, you will pay taxes, but it's going to be anything above 800,000. So that's 840,000. So that's what they are telling people. However, if you receive gifts or monthly allowance, they are not supposed to tax that. If you're also a business person, right, where probably people just, for example, the POS people, right? So they are saying that it is your charges they will charge, which means the money you charge, commission you charge on each money. So your bank account, is what they will be dealing with. So if they check your bank account and they discover that this month alone, you've received over 80,000 naira or 100, right? So next month you get another 100. So you're automatically going to be taxed, not like you are going to go and file it, they will take it from your bank. So that is what now will lead to what you just said, that a lot of people will think putting the cash in their homes will probably be safer, and that will trigger another thing when you're trying to fix a problem.
That will actually trigger because
intentionally.
Because Maiyegun, we have an agency.
You know, so I'm preparing myself for that, right? I'm waiting for the time that maybe I will just send money for allowance. Go in here, and they will go and check their money. They will say, government don't come. Tinubu's government don't come out 1.1 million naira tax because that's how much you owe. 1 point guinea. They will call me back and say, they've taken our money for tax. So that's the kind of cries I'm going to be seeing a lot. Okay.
You see,
that's what they do.
You actually explain it very explicitly. You actually explain it very well. But the thing is that a lot of people do not have this knowledge, and that is why they created one juicy department in this parastata. I think they call it NOA, Nigeria Orientation Agency. But they will not orientate anybody. Meanwhile, they will just keep giving themselves directorate. They will just keep lying. We know them. We know. It's just that you don't see.
Orientation Agency. Okay. They should call them the national, what do you call it? Brainwashing agents. No, brainwashing agents. Because they have to socially condition you. They are going to tell you that this is Nigeria, for the sake of our country, we want you to be thinking like this. We want you to be acting like this. You get that now?
Yeah.
So if you don't follow this, that means you're a rebel or unpatriotic.
Yeah.
It's called social conditioning.
But look at that. Do you know that even they are still deducting some money? If for example, if I want to check my account balance via USSD code, they will subtract some money. If I want to check anything using USSD code, they will check. The money we are even paying is even outrageous. And in the Western world, I'm not bothered about removing of tax or removing of anything, but the usefulness of it is my own concern. I have not benefited anything as far as my age is concerned now. Currently, I have not benefited anything.
See here,
I have not benefited anything.
Nobody touches your money. Okay.
Okay.
They do have different kinds of accounts. There are some accounts that they call something running cost or running charges or something like that. I don't know. So they will tell you that yearly we're going to charge you. Mostly, I think that's for business, by the way. Or rather, they give you money. And you can easily, if you leave more than £100 in some bank accounts, you're likely going to get like maybe £2 extra interest, right? I've left, a tiny bit of money in an account here that I ended up adding an extra over time. It's kind of like added like extra £27. That's not my money. That's just because I left it there. But Nigeria is a place where you will leave 100,000 in your bank.
You will leave by 1 month. It will be deducted.
The bank can try to empty everything for next month.
Exactly. That's just reality. That is just reality.
Where I hear that they greeted you, right? They greeted you that Happy New Month. And
Happy Day. Of course.
Your bank will charge you, say, SMS charges. I say, what is SMS charges? I say, they charge you £5. They charge you 5 naira. They charge you 10 naira. They charge you 50 naira. If you want to receive a notification that somebody sent you money for SMS. So I was like, what the heck is that? And guess what? Nigerian banks don't give loans as they should to businesses. But Nigerian banks are always declaring huge profits. And you are wondering, like,
am I able to just round it off?
Yeah, bank was supposed to just round it off because they put money in. Their money is working in the economy. No. Nigerian banks are making profits by picking your pockets, emptying your bank accounts, different charges, because the criminals in charge of the country allows it. They allowed it.
Just to round it off, sir, because other people can just call in. No, hello, right. Am I online? Okay, so now what I just want to
Idris.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's unreal. Some of these things are unreal. I feel bad when I probably go below my credit limit on my cars, and then I get charged. They just took £45 from my bank simply because I didn't put enough money back on my credit card. So it pains. But Nigeria, if you wouldn't even notice if you have a lot of money. You won't notice. Now only when your money don't come to 100,000, 150,000, you begin to notice that every now and then they take money from me. Why are they taking money from your bank? SMS charges, bank charges, bank this or that. And proudly, they will declare how much they made. All the banks, they will tell you, Access Bank made 231 billion naira from bank charges alone. No profit from them or giving money out to encourage businesses to expand, hire other people and get return back. So we made money from investing in the people, but no, it's an unreal place. Almost unreal. Yeah. Anyway, I was going to possibly share some of our other clips and all that, but I think I'm going to keep that for the evening so that we can have enough to gist about in the evening. Okay. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful morning. For those of you in the US and others, enjoy the rest of the noon, and I will see you again. All right.
jódòdó. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ láwọn tó jódòdó. Maiyegun diary. Bọ́nà dẹ̀nà dé. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Today. Hello there. So good morning to you again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you're joining us. It is the prime time with Maiyegun live. And thank you very much for joining me and others. So after reading the caption of the broadcast, please read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and as many of them as possible, and tell them that Maiyegun is live. And yeah, consider this as the continuation of what we had this afternoon. Because it is also a report coming from the last or this past weekend activities. Ajabi Amule is the chief of staff to Tinubu, the ticket Simba of Anambra. And hang on. Okay, my date is apologies. I should have fixed that. And that can be a distraction in itself. Sorry. It's like I'm like living in the past. Sorry about that. So today is the 15th. Take that on, okay? But let's get on with it. Right. So last weekend, Ajabi Amule organized, a kind of get together that will lead to an endorsement of a gathering. All right. So it was the ex-lawmakers in Nigeria, the ones they could get. They were all invited to congregate in Abeokuta. The purpose is to remind all of them that as everybody is getting ready for the 2027 Charade, it is expected of them, right, to pitch their tent with Tinubu for so many reasons. It was also a meeting convened with an agenda of, fostering unity. That is, to talk more about how to keep us united without, not acknowledging, or should I say, with the acknowledgement of the existing tribalism, bigotry, and the rest of that, the weaponized tribalism. So Ajabi Amule is preaching unity, peace, and progress, because if everybody can see, Tinubu took a decision as a leader, not as a politician. And that is why he removed subsidy. He brought his reforms and all of that stuff, right? The first day he came to the office. And the reforms are working. Exchange rate is stabilized at over 1,600, practically from 400 naira, by the way. So it's stabilized. The inflation is coming down. They just announced, by the way, that their inflation dropped again to 20 point something, meaning things should be begin to get cheaper, just like they have promised. So to him, Tinubu did all of that because these were the actions that were supposed to have been taken decades ago. And he's doing that now for the sake of the future generation, not because of the next election. Meanwhile, the purpose of bringing them together was to, have them endorse Tinubu for second term. Right? So join Sha. So I have copies of that chart. So I've kind of like cut some irrelevant stuff out, okay? And fair enough, I left some that you can ponder on, starting with his opening speech and every other thing therein, in part. That is where we are going to start from this evening. So as you are joining, remember, after reading all of that, right, like share it before you kind of like settle down, start engaging the broadcast. So in Abeokuta, where Tinubu's second term has now been endorsed by ex-lawmakers. So the host was Dubious Dapo, was the chief kind of like convener, organizer. So here is part of, is part of the opening speech. Let's start with that. Baja, Tinubu is a leader, and there's actually a bit of sleep. I hope you will notice it, right? There's a bit of a sleep in his conjectures, right? He said Tinubu took that decision because the leader thinks about the next elections. And I was like, no. I mean, the leaders think about the next generation. I'll take the first sleep. Let's start with this.
The National Forum of Former Legislators is a powerful network of public servants from across the country, men and women who have dedicated their lives to the service of this nation and have done so, some at significant personal cost. The members of this forum played vital roles in ensuring that the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many continue to serve in government, helping our president serve this country and implement the renewed hope agenda. The federal cabinet alone includes 15 former members of the National Assembly. This is a first in history. Like one of our social commentators always say, you can fact check me. That number, 15, does not include the president. It does not include the vice president. It does not include the deputy chief of staff. It does not include the secretary of the government of the federation. And it does not even include me, all of whom are veterans of the federal parliament. The renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is anchored on the unassailable belief that while it is not in our power to change the past, it is our obligation to do the hard work today so that our tomorrow can be better than all our yesteryears. The renewed hope agenda flows from our president's belief that yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. As such, we must build for ourselves and for our children a nation where everyone can succeed by the strength of their endeavors, where optimism is not reserved only for the privileged and powerful, and where peace and prosperity are the birthright of all our citizens. With the signing into law of the tax reforms, President Tinubu has ushered in a new era of economic justice, built on fairness, accountability, and national purpose. These are not the actions of a politician thinking about the next generation. Or rather, these are not the actions of a politician thinking about the next election. They are acts of extraordinary statesmanship by a leader whose highest concern is the fortune of the Nigerian people and the fate of the next generation. Let me put that in another way so that it sinks home. Many of us, and most of us, if I must say, are politicians. What I just said goes to this effect, or speaks to the choice that President Tinubu had to make. He could either be, or make a choice that he'll be a politician, or he'll be a leader. Let me tell you the difference between the two. A politician thinks about the next election. A leader thinks about the next generation. If President Tinubu had decided or opted to be a politician, trust me, the reforms you see now, which will have their consequences naturally, would only start in his second term. He would only embark on those reforms in his second term. But because of the conviction he had, and because he knew he had a job to do, not for himself, not for the purpose of the next election, but for the purpose, and he was thinking of the next generation, he decided to start his reforms from day one, risking everything. But we thank God that Nigerians are so astute, they've become so astute, that even they have seen and they understand where Mr. President is coming from and where he is going.
Now to on far. Ma okuta to wa nbe ma yoku nbe ma sabi gbata ba nsa ewa.
Gotcha. You know something about their politicians or these guys is that they can nearly convince you, if words are enough, the next generation. A leader thinks about the next generation, not the next election. Therefore, to Baja, Tinubu fits into that. And that is why, as they are currently doing, like doctoring data in order to look good on paper, when the reality is not really felt by people, while they continue to tell the people that, no, it's going to be better. The reform, what are the reforms? You devalued your currencies, and then you went borrowing, while your citizens have been sorrowing. There is no real investment brought to Nigeria by Tinubu that you can say it is because of his reform. His best investors are the IMF, World Bank, Afrexim Bank, African Development Bank. These then Chinese, Exim Bank too. These are the regular customers of Tinubu. Everywhere he went, he's going with that bowl in his hands, begging, as much as they are making ridiculous pronouncements, which ordinarily, right, when you are making a reform, you say, you know what, our reforms on electricity, for example, Tinubu's reform is to tax you, is to pick your pocket. To them, that's reform. So they can tell you that they have more money. You get that now? But at the same time, they are borrowing more. And they are convincing you that you have more money doesn't mean that you can't borrow. But in that same breath, they are praising themselves that the reform is working. We have more money. There's more money. See, it's generating more money. And all of that ridiculous manipulation. And they will do it so convincingly. The future generation, Baba, Nigerians, so I don't know, maybe if you get debt forgiveness, true too, right? Except if you get debt forgiveness, even the Nigerians, those who, if Nigeria continue to exist, right? Nigerians that will be born in 100 years' time, right? If Tinubu stopped borrowing today and become so honest with you by opening their book for you, right? And stop borrowing entirely, it will still take Nigeria another 89 years to pay off the kind of a debt that Nigeria has currently incurred. Half of that by Tinubu. That is what they are calling investment. It's not because they're making more money from you, even with all the taxes, because people have become poorer. So taxes in itself that they are, it's just like double taxation and some other chronic way of squeezing you, like the ones they get from the import. So far they know that the country relies more on importation. So yeah, they make a lot of money from that, not considering the fact that you are going to be the end users who eventually pay for all of that. Now they have more money, but yet his legacy projects that is announced, all of his projects from Lagos to Calabar, Sokoto to Badagry, this one, they were all attached to borrowing. Do you understand? Like every one of them is attached to borrowing. And in the process, they continue to push different lies that they themselves are believing. You get what I mean? And to lift people out of poverty for these guys is what they call the intervention. Is by sharing 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira to a handful of people. Why billions, hundreds of billions would develop wings and disappear? But yeah, Baja, Surulere, Aristotle II, he was daily prepared. He used the medium to deliver a speech that paints everything fantastic. And if at the point, right, it wasn't that great fantastic, right? But everybody's believing that everything is coming back normal, everything is getting better, Hi, politicians. Meanwhile, left, right, and center, you get to see unpaid workers, unpaid pensioners. And when you ask them what's going on, they will say, it wasn't Tinubu that owed them, sort of, So whatever it is that is so obvious, they will tell you that that wasn't Tinubu. Or they continue to live in their own world. So in that part, yeah, Baja also used the medium to talk about the fake unity of Nigeria. We have to be united. Our unity is all this kind of talk, right? Let's go to that one. Baja.
Thank Nigerians. We thank those of you who have been able to send that message, that dire message with initially everybody was arms akimbo, that where we going, oh, we're hungry. But they realized all Mr. President has done is to press the reset button that should have been pressed many years ago. And we thank him for that. Now, while our vision is clear and our destination certain, it is not lost on us that the journey itself is not an easy one. Fixing the things that have long been broken imposes cost, entails sacrifice, and requires time. That is why, under the leadership of our president, this administration has pursued a two-pronged approach of reforms. On the one hand, and targeted interventions on the other hand, to ease the burden of sacrifice on all our citizens. National unity is the sine qua non for national development. If there is no national unity, there can be no national development. Where there is no peace, there cannot be progress. National unity is not the absence of disagreement. Disagreements are part of the human condition. However, national unity defined as an active commitment to live and work together in peace ensures that every disagreement doesn't devolve into an argument, and that even when we argue, we don't do so from a place of fear, anger, resentment, and naked appeals to our worst instincts. Our differences are not a weakness unless we choose to turn an asset into a liability. Our diversity can be a unifying force. We can draw strength and inspiration from the scintillating variety of culture, music, arts, and traditions that we have here and that are so greatly admired across the world. Unity does not mean we must all think alike. No, far from it. It does not mean we must all vote alike or worship in the same way. But it does mean that we must agree on one thing. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we will rise together or fall together.
People who are responsible for the weaponized divisive politics are talking about our differences shouldn't be a cause. It should rather probably be a blessing. You get what I mean? It should be our strength. Unity in its words. What is unity without respect? However, over time, before the advent of the APC, at least that was the word I grew up in, though, right? Before the advent of the APC, so you always have this cultural display, cultural exchanges, and all of that in our schools and all that, in a way to probably get us, familiar with the country that we're growing up in until APC came recently, and it's still ongoing though. The Ronukus were busy on social media, right? Nearly causing this probably like a tribal war, sort of, nearly. Simply because an Igbo girl, an American Nigerian, I've been a Nigerian American, I don't know, but she's an American, right? So she's into art, and she had this exhibition scheduled for time, I think this month, in Lagos. And in that, right, she was like a Lagos cultural, blah, blah, blah blend. Okay. And the Ronokus became very angry. They said they were doing cultural appropriation, that people should not touch anything Yoruba, because Yorubas always called Owambe, Owanibe. There's nothing called Owambe. It must be Owambe. That one nearly caused social media earthquake. A social media quake. It was that big enough that they threatened that event must never hold in Lagos. It is an insult on the Yorubas for an Igbo girl to be appropriating our cultural. So Digbaji and his gang, they are aware, very much aware. In that speech of his, he referenced that by saying, oh yeah, we've had this cultural mix, this and that, and it's part of our strength. But on the other side, with what is playing out, even right under his nose, as it is so very much like evident all over the social media, he glossed over it. And then it was like, oh, our culture, our tradition, this and that, they are so beautiful. That's in context, right? They're so beautiful that the rest of the world have been trying to either copy or to learn it, to celebrate it in particular, which is true. You're going to see people from all over the world, right, who have picked either one cultural, traditional connection in every part of Nigeria. Do you understand? And in the process, either through marriages, partnership, or even cultural exchanges and all of that. So over time, you get to see non-Nigerians who are even so proud of some of the traditions in Nigeria or cultures in Nigeria. Some have actually made fortune from exporting same to the Western world. And people are always like, people like me now. If I go to, for example, let's say I am like on holiday, for example, to somewhere in Europe, and then I attend probably a local market and all that, and then there they are, Nigerian wares, maybe dresses, maybe some of our jewelries, and all of those cultural stuff. Then you are like, as if to say you've never seen them before, right? And you want some, probably that moment, you just want some, you want to take away with you. That could be like amulet and what have you. So they've never really been a problem about that until this APC, Egbekegbe, and the Ronukus all over the place, okay, who have now become so sensitive, so to say. And it is the sensitivity is mostly against the Igbos. And because people believe that these people are, I personally too believe that they are politically sponsored, because they were never like this. Now it is, and it's going to probably get worse. We know why too. So, but they are talking about unity in that sense, glossing over it, and then going ahead again to say something about we shouldn't appropriate our cultural stuff. You're going to hear that part too, right? It's going to say, you know what, in this our differences, blah, 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 we should try and not to be appropriating other people's cultural stuff. That's the way I heard it. Maybe you should listen in that part of the speech as well. Baja is talking about unity.
Our history is fraught with actions and reactions that continue to breed and foster resentment. For those of us of a certain age, this is our inheritance. But we are not condemned to leave the same legacy to our children. So what must we do? We must talk to rather than scream at one another. We must listen to rather than hear one another. We must forgive whatever age-long grievances for the sake of our children. Nation building, as I've always said, is a joint task. That task goes beyond building roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals. Nation building is about forging a sense of common identity and purpose among citizens. It is about nurturing institutions that are fair, transparent, and just. It is about creating opportunities for all citizens, north, south, east, and west, to thrive regardless of their background. Nation building is about ensuring that in the application of our laws and in our ordinary interactions as citizens, we reflect due reverence for the traditions, religions, cultures, values, and institutions of others, recognizing that people hold dear those totems of identity and will always respond in terrible ways when they appear to be threatened, appropriated, or otherwise belittled. Nation building is a continuous process from one generation to another. We are engaged in a never-ending process of defining who we are and what matters to us. Nation building is not the work of government alone. Every citizen, every institution, and every person here at home or in diaspora who has a stake in the Nigerian project also has a responsibility to help build this nation. Yes, the government has an obligation to lead the way by modeling the outcomes we wish to see and become part of our national culture. That is why the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a matter of policy and practice, is committed to a governance that is fair, transparent, and inclusive. For the first time in our nation's history, the 6 geopolitical regions in the country now have dedicated development commissions with a mandate to channel federal resources to develop and implement infrastructural and human capital development.
Did you see his countenance when he was talking about, you know, how we all hold our cultural, traditional, religious, and all those beliefs, and we tend to fight back when those things are threatened? Could you decode that, yeah? It is just to give a bit of a shout out to the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, saying, hey guys, even though I'm talking about unity, that there is no Hausa, there is no Igbo, there is no Yoruba, we are all one Nigeria and all of that, and we need unity in this country, blah, 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 blah. I'm still going to tell them that if you feel threatened that anybody's coming to come and take your religion, your tradition, your culture, you feel threatened, or anybody's trying to appropriate. The word appropriating your culture simply means, make I tell you, right? Appropriation, okay? Simply means like, I am a Yoruba man, an Ijebu man, right? So if I decided to just, for instance, let's say I love the epic cultural, maybe dances or food or, those kind of a thing. Like, I just kind of like love the epic people, right? And in my wardrobe, you're going to see some epic traditional wears. Do you get it now? And somebody who is an epic is upset. Why is this Ijebu man dressing like an epic man? You are threatening me, because before you know it now, all these Yorubas, all these Ijebus, they will begin to say they are epic. Oh, Ijebus are coming to try to come and take over epic people. Kind of must be mental illness, right? It must be. While the real threat, by the way, right, that is in general, universal with evidence, is that of the armed Fulani terrorists and their sponsor, the Boko Haram terrorists and their sponsor, and every other terror group that have been sponsored in that contraption. They are the existential threats. Verified. Somebody who wants to dress like an Igbo man. Suddenly an Igbo man is angry. Why would this Hausa man dress like Igbo? This is what these Hausa people like to do. Now, small thing now, they will be claiming that they are Igbos. Rough. And you're sure you don't have mental problem. This is my own kind of understanding, but an average Ronuku will disagree with me, which is okay. It's all right. But we're just trying to reason here. Cultural appropriation. Why are you calling it Owambe? Because there is no in Yoruba. That's how dunce and retarded it can be to be a Ronuku. Your education won't matter. I just did It's a sound, isn't it? Oloronimbe. Mamora. That's a popular name. I'm just saying, right? But majority of them, as retarded as they choose to be, do all this caution into the air, and they were raging, angry. How can you be? You are insulting the Yorubas. You are not respecting your host. We are telling you that it is Owambe. It is not Owambe. Come on. Cultural appropriation. And they are so angry in gaslighting those of you Yorubas as well. Because if you feel like, what's between all this madness? They will say, you this Yoruba Libra. I think they have a name for people like, they say you are Yoruba Libra. These people are trying to take over our land. These people are trying to dominate us. These people are, and you are here speaking English. This one, you are just an anomaly. Instead of you to stand up and join them in the hate, kind of like a crusade. And you're like, okay, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to, where do you want me to start? Anyway, just anything where you just say no. It's crazy, right? Now, this is the final part where Baja actually toasted his colleagues by kind of having them to see, after having said all of this, Tinubu has been very fair. He has created commissions. He has given jobs. He has balanced the economy. And right now, for peace and unity of Nigeria, it is better for him to do second term. And we hereby endorse him. Yeah, of course, they endorsed him. Call you for second term. Yeah.
Why are we here? Now, honorable colleagues, this hall right here is reminiscent for me of the chambers where we all sat together once upon a time, whether the green chambers or the red chambers. We sat not as Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba, but as legislators swore an oath and who were pushed to uphold the unity of Nigeria. Now let's take that principle that we all sat with while we were in the chambers, outside, into the real world, so we can stay united and keep Nigeria united. Let's work together with and for our president. It is not, many have preferred arguments that let the South finish its 8 years. Let the Southwest complete the 8 years. Let President Tinubu complete the 8 years of the South. Many have said that. That argument has been canvassed, it has been made, and it continues to be made. That argument cannot be faulted. And I support it wholly for sake of unity, fairness, and equity. But beyond that, there's an even more compelling argument. So it's a twofold argument. One, equity, justice, and unity. But there's an even more compelling argument that is to be made and to be pressed home. What is that argument? Our president, unlike any before him, is bold enough. He has taken bold steps to hit the reset button towards a better Nigeria. He's taking bold and audacious decisions in retooling and restructuring our economy and in re-engineering our finances. He is playing the long game. Let us rise as legislators and support him fully. In the words of our national anthem, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And in the pledge of our allegiance, we declare our intent to defend her unity and uphold our honor and glory. These are not just words. They are a solemn commitment and a call to action. Therefore, brothers and sisters, citizens and patriots, let us rise from this day with renewed determination to build a Nigeria where unity is a lived reality, where our diversity is our greatest strength, and where generations yet unborn will be proud to travel the ends of the earth and declare with confidence, like the Romans of old, I am a Nigerian.
That's why I called him. No, I'm going to come at him. Stay away. So that's why I called him the Surulere Aristotle the second. He's delivered. He's actually doing his job. Oh. Do you understand? Like, he's doing the job as the chief of staff to Tinubu. And he's not expected to probably deliver less anyway. His job is to give everybody, somebody like him is believed to have access to the, to the best information about what is going on in Nigeria. He is next to Tinubu. By definition of their hierarchy, he is actually the most powerful person in Nigeria. Like Abba Kyari. Remember him? The difference between Abba Kyari and this one was that this one is a politician. Abba Kyari then was said to be a technocrat, like all this ambassadorial stuff, right? Yeah, like, so you don't get to see much of him. You only feel him. So this badger is that powerful. His chief of staff means the person that recommended somebody, the last clearance, that recommended somebody to be appointed into any position and every position in that contraption under Tinubu. If they made 10,000 appointments, they had to pass through the office of a badger. Yeah, he is that powerful. And I don't really probably have to go into details of that. So he's doing his job, giving them the talking point, making them also realize that there's a lot at stake. There's so many of you seated here. You probably have one or two things you are also benefiting for the fact that, so if you fail to let us keep Tinubu beyond 2027, we are all going to have a lot to lose. And that is what is called the establishment. Presently, people believe that Tinubu has the election to lose. What does that mean? Simply means that for those who knows how the Nigerian system works very well, it is his to lose, which means it is his own, it will be his own choice to lose, because majority expected him to reach. He's got all of the resources to do that. So, but would that be enough? Would the power of incumbency be a true advantage? There is somebody who has something to say about that, right? Because according to him, it can be an advantage and it can be a great disadvantage too. In 2019, Nigeria was almost like this in that kind of era, because then, if you look back, it will come be like say then was better than now. Buhari was resoundingly rejected. But you all know what happened now. They had to rig him in. It damned the consequences. And the only region that was believed could trigger a serious, probably a serious breakdown of law and order in the country if they joined the South was the North. They were told then not to do anything. So it was like, okay, if the rest of Nigeria have rejected him or what have you, and he's managed to announce himself as a winner, so it was easier to mobilize not just the police, the military, and the rest for anybody who wanted to reject that election then. They were able to mobilize their supporters who indeed knew, just like now, they knew then that it didn't deserve any second term, but it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. ABC must be in power. You get? And the victims will have to make sure of that, including if they have to kill themselves. It was that bad. So, but, well, it ended in court. So this is going to be your 2027 again, where the country is in serious agony, and including the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis themselves, the Lagos Sabobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris. But with the help of with the help of the military, the police, and the rest of them, Kolu would have to succumb to a very, very superior power, and that would be the power of, I think, the parties involved, because it's beyond that your vote in your election. And we have those who strongly believe that election can't remove Tinubu. But there's somebody who probably feels otherwise, but meticulously explained how that will play out. Because it's not just going to be like, oh, incumbency is going to be against him because of the state of the country and what have you. If the opposition themselves are pure rogues. Well, that's what came to my mind. Yeah, listen to this. Incumbency and Tinubu.
Unlike what most people think, that incumbency, as you now quoted, somebody saying that 40% of incumbent, he already has 40%. He already has 40%. Now, let me tell you, the advantages of incumbent are basically three. One is name. If you say Bola Tinubu, even the boy on the street knows Bola Tinubu. Why? Because he's the president. So name is important in politics. Then two, he has the control of the machinery of government. And in a system where rule of law and constitutionalism and institutions are weak, like in the case of our country, he can direct the security agencies to play his game. He will have unfettered access to state treasury, and then he will have a structure, already established governmental structure that will be of help. These are the advantages of an incumbent, but he has a huge disadvantage also. And like this regime, where its policies and programs and projects have caused hardship and disillusionment in society, incumbency becomes a disadvantage. It is for the opposition to now narrow on this, come up with the right messages, and come up with the right means of driving this message into the society, and the opposition and the incumbent is as good as gone. We did that in 2015. Yeah. I have told you here, and I have said it severally, we came up with the idea of forming the APC and then using the APC and the weaknesses, the disadvantages of the PDP government then to get the government out. And in this administration, it has even tripled of these disadvantages of the PDP government. So as far as I'm concerned, the incumbency in this political dispensation now is a huge disadvantage that is a huge political capital for the opposition to use only if the opposition knows how to use it.
Their messaging must be right.
The messages must be right. The means of delivering of the message must be right. And the time, because strategy is very critical. Time is very critical in strategy. If you come early, you mess it up. If you come late, you mess it up. So you have to time it and give it, at the right time.
But the thing there is that everybody would still have to play according to Tinubu's dictates. You understand what that means, right? It simply means that as it stands, as it is presently, everybody will play by Tinubu's rules. The laws, his power, as well as the INEC, your electoral this and that, your judiciary, which is so vital. They've taken over that place already. You understand? Already. So, you would still have to play by his own rule. How are you going to have to beat him in that same rule? Let me tell you something. Where's my phone? I don't know if this information means anything. It doesn't matter. At least you will remember. You know that it's been a month now, or thereabouts, when they started their voters renewal, voters registration stuff, right? In that last 4 weeks or thereabouts, INEC has released that 4.4 million have registered, new people that are registering now. And the way these new registered voters, right, the way the number is distributed, I won't say anything, I'll just tell you, okay? So far, Osun State have registered 552,000 new voters. Remember, this year exercise is probably going to run till next year, and I'm surprised though. So Lagos has registered 488,000. Borno 439,000. Ogun State 396,000. Kebbi State 287,000. Kaduna 240,000. Kogi 218,000. Abuja 213,000. Yobe 212. Oyo 181. Jigawa 93. Kwara 93,000. Ekiti 85,000. Delta 81,000. Sokoto 75. Niger 72,000. Bauchi 63,000. Imo 62,000. Katsina 61,000. Zamfara 57,000. Nasarawa 56. Akwa Ibom 38. Gombe 31. Benue 26,000. Taraba 24. Bayelsa 20. Adamawa 12. None like that. And the last, you have Ondo 10,000. Edo 8,000. Abia 3,000. 3,000. Enugu 1,800. So you may be expecting them to come and snatch ballot boxes and just change figures like you probably, right? And the North that brags of having a lot of votes, and they would deny Tinubu in 2027. Your case may end up being like that of when I was doing labor job in Udubulu back then. I was very young. So they would tell us then that each block, because you have to carry block, that fabricated block, right? You have to carry blocks. So probably the first floor, or the second floor, depends. So they will tell you how many you have to carry. We were young, I was tiny, right? So, but there were others who were like my age mates, but they had body, they've done it very well. So the man who was the foreman, I would say maybe the foreman or supervisor. So while we were busy, while I was busy kind of like struggling with one block, so the guy would say, you will count your money very, very well at the end of today. And what that simply meant back then was that while everybody get paid what they have to be paid, my own money won't be completed, like, because I didn't do. So I shouldn't think because we are, you get what I mean? I shouldn't think that because I mean, the minimum will be paid to me means that everybody will get the same. No. So for all of them, the three Kardashians in northern Nigeria, this is the time you are probably going to realize that one single Tinubu vote from Osun will begin the council vote from Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, all together. And now go come scream, say, hey! For example, Kwakwansop will score his usual 1 million or 1.2 million. And then they will say, Tinubu scored probably, let's say 500,000 in Kano, 200,000 200,000 in Katsina, and maybe 200,000 in Kaduna. That would be like 400 plus 900,000. So that means in those three states, so Tinubu get 900,000. They will come tell you, say, from Osun State alone, Tinubu scored 1.9 million. Now, when I will call the one that say, when did that? Look, what happened? They will say, did you not see all the registration? Did you not know that Tinubu is from Osun? They will tell you that Ogun State, Tinubu scored 1.3 million. Osun State is scored 1.9 million. Lagos State is scored 2.3 million. Now you go come the wonder, say, how come? How? They say, you don't know that all of you have awakened the Yorubas, especially you Igbos. You have awakened the Yorubas now. Yorubas want to make sure that they stand behind Tinubu. Now, so they're in the work. And then you'll be like, I thought, I'm gonna, like, Who are the Yorubas who now voted Tinubu? All these millions. So, but by then it will be too late because it will be your president for the second term. And then you go know say their own kind of permutation may not even go the way you are used to. I'm not trying to scare you because there's nothing to scare. You get that now? There is no scare already. It's everywhere. I'm just saying. When you pay attention to all this stuff, you realize that it's not strategy. It's just people who are going to organize your elections. Imagine now, they give you this and say, hey, this is the 10 commandments for 2027 election. IRF, important. Beavers, very important. Transfer of results is this. Blah, 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 blah. They give you that one. You can't carry that one. Can't take and do pendant. They work out everywhere. This 2027, rig and die. This 2027, anybody that rig, he die. See, it's here. Number 7. It's number 7. INEC said anybody that rig, die. Say, really? That's a good one. No? But meanwhile, behind the scene, they are there drawing what and what they are going to. And that one is not with you. That one is with Tinubu because they are the committee to plan your elections anyway. They are the ones who knows which server is where or anywhere. So they are there. They are analyzing and say, okay, so we get, all right, so remove that one. So that one, who is that? Peter, how much? 25,000. Change them to 2,500, like that. Yeah, that one, remove that one. So scientifically, but by the time they are done, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to scare you because whatever you even plot to do, you are still going to hand it over to them. And by your law, they are the only ones that can say this is the winner. So what are you going to do after that? You're going to go to court. Right. Then you have the sandpapers and sand everywhere. It's going to be chopping time. And that is why you are seeing them cashing out billions and billions as payment for electoral litigations. And the cycle plays itself again. You get to Supreme Court, they tell you, say, make you go try another time. They say, this country, everybody can shackle, can raise. Yeah. Say, na willing willa. Now, because you na lose election, that's why you won't burn this country. It's not going to be about how you were rigged out. No, it's because it's because you lost. Nigeria will be great. They said they did the same thing under Bokuwari until Bokuwari's time nearly ended, and the majority of them, they can be like what Yoruba called for Jolo. You know what that means, right? Yeah, it seems like when Bokuwari was living, majority of them that started with Bokuwari, they ended with Bokuwari. Because the economy don't choke many, that we now have walking deads. It's a long story. But I mean, the victims, so those ones who survived till now, instead of them to recover, trailer did, Tinubu's economic trailer, now on the smash skull. Everybody just po. Figuratively, like literally, right? I mean, literally. Anyway, leaving that aside, how this plays out at the end of the day, nobody knows. But inside Tinubu's Nigeria, where law and order or rule of law is gone, then human rights abuses using the same court that was supposed to be they said the last hope of a common man, and also the last hope of uncommon man. It's a place where the high and mighty and the low and what have you seek justice, and the justice come not because of your probably your status. Justice is blind, but not in Nigeria, where Lady Justice, once he smells the bale of cash, come on the food, the blindfold, look up, you are guilty. That's exactly what it is under Tinubu. The fake progressive. They call themselves progressives because they are not progressives by any means, by, nothing. Omoyele Sowore, which has been coming under constant state vilification, harassment, and bullying, is standing trial for bullying. Imagine people where they bully you, going to take you to court, try to jail you by claiming that you are bullying them. That's how crazy it is. The police IG, illegal police IG, who is currently occupying the office of the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria illegally, when he was due to have retired from the police force a year ago. And somebody pointed that out, including other corruption going on in that place. But it is rotten. But Nigeria believes that not today, is that your business? It's not your business. You should face other thing. Because all these things now that you are sharing to the public, you are trying to make the police IG to look bad. But pensioners are not paid. Police officers are not well paid. It's ridiculous. Promotions have been altered. All because they wanted to keep the fund and the money. Like, these are regular things that should sort of like jolt anybody. But of course, it is not about the message in Nigeria. It's mostly about the messenger, unfortunately. So the persecution of Omoyele Sowore, he was in court today because similarly, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has been a prisoner of a conscience, locked up illegally under trumped-up charges in Nigeria, he has been demanding for a proper medical attention away from his captors, the people who have kept him under, underground cells, incommunicado. They have mentally tried to break him. They've tried physically. Everything failed. But until they are satisfied, they are not obeying any court order. The courts have been presented with so many evidence of these abuses, abuse of power, abuse of human rights, and all that. But it is Nnamdi Kanu. Nigeria can always bend the rule to suit the women caprices of the criminals who are controlling them. The judiciary that is not independent, is that a judiciary? Huh? So whatever was in court today, watch this.
When people take over, the greatest of the greatest Nigerian people. Great! We have just been through some of the most interesting court hearings today. And this is related to the charge brought by the illegal Inspector General of Police before the Federal High Court, claiming that I colluded with unknown entities to forge police wireless documents. And this is the third time that the case was supposed to go into a stage where we would plead to the charge. But I'm very happy today. Not that we are not facing tribulation, but I'm happy for brilliance and intelligence and the tenacity of our lawyers. I want to tell you that our lawyers are a rare breed. They are different in every ramification, and the judge acknowledged it today. About 10 of them, wow, represented us today. More could have come, but we also tell them that this is a distraction, so they should use their time judiciously elsewhere. And so the judge agreed with us, even though they were close to carrying out their illegal arrangements. But the judge was told, on very clear terms, that it doesn't matter how desperate you are, you cannot ask a non-juristic body somebody that doesn't exist legally in Nigeria to take a plea before you. And one of the other lawyers reminded the judge that assuming you go ahead to ask our reporters to take a plea, in what language is our reporters going to take a plea? And that was the point at which it became very clear to them that this is one of the efforts to waste time, energy, and resources of the Nigerian state. We are standing firm because our position is not this. Our position is the liberation of our country.
Yes, sir.
And we are very, very serious about it.
Yes, sir.
But the liberation of the country also takes a lot of ramifications. Yes, sir. You know, it will be by physical, mental, legal, and some will say even spiritual intervention. Yes.
Right, sir.
So whichever way they come, we must confront them. And today it's in the courtroom. Next time we'll be on the streets. And I know that these days they are also very scared about what happened in the past. And what I've always said, anytime I have the opportunity, Nigeria cannot escape a revolution.
Yes, sir.
It's impossible. And I will never tell anybody otherwise. That even if I'm not the one who will carry out the revolution, it will still happen.
The position is this. We should get it very clear.
Yes, sir.
What happened in court today, just like I've always said, should not be treated in isolation.
Yes, sir.
It's part of the general struggle of liberation.
Yes, sir.
And if we have our opportunity, at every point in time, we have to tell all the institutions, including our judges,
yes, sir,
that what is at play here is just a struggle between the forces of change and the beneficiary of a system that fear accountability.
Yes, I love that.
The beneficiary of a system that embraces corruption.
Yes, sir.
Beneficiary of a system that is killing the masses.
Yes, sir.
And when you see how much in the dog, you must know that what is in the dog is the voice of
the people. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is not about it's not about Charade.
Yes, sir.
This case is a clear case of the joblessness of the Nigerian police force.
Yes.
It's a clear case of joblessness. At a time when bandits are ravaging the nation.
Terrorists.
At a time when kidnappers are picking our children, our mothers, our fathers like mangoes that fell from the tree. The Nigerian police deem it fit, unfortunately, to charge Omoyele Sowore on a matter that is supposed to be a civil matter. Why? Because he spoke truth to power. Yes. You see, their ears pain them whenever truth is told to them. That is just the simple truth. This is a clear case of wastage of taxpayers' money. I have looked at the charge, painstakingly looked at the charge. The charge is defective, both in form and in substance. Yes. Even a university student cannot draft that charge. Yes. I have looked at it and said, why? And initially when I looked at the charge, I said, no, this cannot be drafted by a police officer. Yes. But when I looked at the people that signed the charge, this is not to cast aspersion to our colleagues in the police force. But it does not speak well for a lawyer. Maybe at this point we'll be asking the NBA to even question whether they are even called to the Nigerian bar. Because this profession is a noble one.
It's not impossible.
There is a reason why it is called a noble profession. You don't just file frivolous charges. But let us not preempt what is going to happen, but let us continue to struggle. The struggle must continue. It is not about Sowore like Maxwell has said. It is about Nigeria. We must build this country. We will not join those who are jackmarring. We decide to remain here. Yes. A lot of us have the opportunity to leave Nigeria. Sowore has the opportunity to leave Nigeria.
I left and came back.
But he decided to stay. Yes. I have the opportunity. You have the opportunity. But you decide to stay. We must fix Nigeria. And there is no better way to fix Nigeria than what we are doing today. Aluta Kontuna.
Yes.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people who are proving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in longer. Because some people will be at indoor. There's no a way to make.
Thank you, Jerry. Prof. It's been a while. So Omoyele Sowore is again being charged on frivolous charges, wastage of public resources and time, something that could be used for something more meaningful, more productive. But we are talking about Nigeria, power mongers, so to say. It is a different world, completely different from what you and I possibly considered as normal world and what is abnormal. You get that now? They live in their own bubble, a different world. And it is so, I don't know, like it is so generational, right? That if you look at it today, more than 60-70% of those who are wielding different kind of powers in Nigeria in different capacity in that country today, they were nobodies, at least 2 decades ago. Some were actually nobodies a decade ago. Today, they are holding sensitive positions, making critical decisions that they ordinarily knows that will affect not one, not two, but millions of people. But they still make the decisions anyway. Decisions like denying the people the good governance that they deserve. And what is good governance? A system that is built on probity and accountability, where those who are given such opportunities knows that they are given opportunity of responsibility. And if they falter, if they mess up, it comes with consequences. A system or a power given to them in trust. Do you understand? A system that gives you good governance includes the one that cares about your health, your education, which is about your skills that you need to thrive in this life. A system gives you that, an opportunity to be able to get trainings, get skills, and at the same time, an opportunity where to put those skills into perfect use, productivity, opportunities when they build roads, when they construct, power structures that gives you access to power, 24/7 electricity, things that help your productivity, your health, or your education, or infrastructural wise, so and as well as, these are the things that will create opportunities that will then guarantee your pursuit of happiness, which in itself is the foundation of being a citizen of any free country. They say you are free because as a freeborn, you have every right in this land of yours to pursue your happiness legitimately. Anything that makes you happy. As a freeborn, go on, just don't break the law. How is that so kind of like, so when you look at it that way, you realize that most of these guys who are holding this power today, they were nobodies then. They were possibly like me and you, who thought things should be done better. Now they got the chance, and they repeated the same attitude of those they were once looking up to. Say, man, look at that person. Lieutenant Governor, Lieutenant General, General so and so. See this one, His Excellency, distinguished senator, look at that one, speaker. Look at this. People they were looking up to. They were watching them loot the country. Some of them they disagreed with, only for them to have the opportunity and nothing different. Rather, worse. Human rights abuses, you can't talk. They suddenly become so, so intolerant, so to say. Suddenly, Everything irritates them. Everything makes them feel so like angry. Their ego is bruised. You have to respect them. Do you know who you are talking to? Do you know me? I can make you disappear. Do you know that? I can. Calm down. Come on. At the end of the day, they leave nothing. No real impact. But more damages. It's worse now that they have added, the tribal division, ethnic division, all of them politically weaponized. Inibe says something about that at one of the APC lawyers program in Lagos. Akinola, Akintola, Akinola, I don't know. But here, they weaponized tribalism, which is mainly political.
As the leading candidates are concerned, they are all Yorubas. But why is it that any candidate that does not contest on the platform that Tinubu supports, they were attributing to the Igbos? Who is the Igbo man that wants to be the governor of Lagos? Who is the Igbo man that is going about grabbing people's land? I have clients and defendants that are Yorubas. It is Yoruba people that are grabbing their land. Let us stop this politics that we are playing, deceiving ourselves. We cannot change Nigeria without being honest. This tribalism is meant to keep APC in power. And I'm speaking as someone that has documented hatred for PDP. So you cannot say I'm speaking because, and by the way, when they say Igbo, where do you put some of us? I'm from Akwa Ibom, I don't speak Igbo. I've never lived in Igbo land. I'm a proud Igbo man. But when you look at me, what do you see? Nigeria has an Igbo problem. And we have to be honest about it. Nigeria has another problem from the Civil War. Nigeria was out that conversation. And please, in summary, the solution to the issue is rule of law. Everybody should be subjected to the law. When you violate the law, you should be treated as someone that has violated the law. The law should not look at you as a Yoruba man. The law should not look at you as a Hausa man. The law should not look at you as a Muslim or a Christian. Let us be honest with ourselves. Sheikh Tinubu is married to an Igbo person. So tomorrow, if Sheikh Tinubu wants to be governor of Lagos State, you will say that he's tainted blood. This is politics that is going on. And if we are not honest to address it, we will continue to live this demonic poison that has destroyed this country. This whole generation has felt my generation. And my generation is determined to put an end to it. Thank you.
Since when I born you never seen this kind of abuse before. Tinubu, I must abuse you. Tinubu, number one, Ogun Okiyopa. Tinubu number two, Ogun Okiyoma. Tinubu number three, Ogun Okiyo your children. Tinubu number four, Ogun go bury all your family. Tinubu is a god to you. A god to you. Tinubu is a god to you. And Wausa.
They have weaponized tribalism, keep you so torn apart, and it is working. If you dare recognize it and you call it out, there is a name for you too. It simply means you are a bastard. You are not supposed to see it that way. You are just supposed to join. Don't you get it? We are preserving our cultural, our tradition. These people want to control everybody. They want to, there is this one that called it jealousy. They say it's Oba Eze Undigbo of Lagos, right? And it is, where's that place in a Solo again? That is Solo area. What's that place called again? I saw his video. So it's like, it's not just online, right? It is offline too. And those who have been pretending to be indifferent are not limited to just Yorubas. There are Igbos who are pretending to be indifferent, but whenever they speak on it, they just feel like, we don't know. We don't know why they start saying that the Igbos must go. Igbos must go. Like, what have we done? We have not done anything wrong, this and that. But hey, if you have been around long enough, It simply means, and you are acting like, what have we done? What did we do? It simply means you have been living in denial for a long time. So the stake is higher right now. And they wouldn't mind to even kick off a civil war, even though they probably don't have the capacity to kick off a civil war. Okay. But they wouldn't mind to ignite it because they have raised a base that they can easily ride, and they have raised them based on Igbo hatred. And they are letting everybody believe then that because the Igbos hate them too. So me as a Yoruba man, if I say, no, I don't hate the Igbos and I don't think any Igbo hates me. Look at this idiot. Look at this one. He's always pandering. They said, you Igbos are giving me money. Yeah, they said that you Igbos, you are the one giving me money so that I can always talk good about you and also talk bad about the Ronukus. One of them, I mean, actually two of them, I saw two comments. So one said, don't mind him. He's jobless in his island. It's because of this Igbo money they are giving him. That is why he's always coming to abuse Tinubu. But you know, if they said, oh, that's why he's abusing Tinubu, it won't make sense. They said that is why he's supporting the Igbos against the Yorubas, because I am supposed to join them. Yeah, that is the theory. If I can't see the reason why to hate the Igbos and start telling everybody that the Igbos, then I'm not I'm not a thorough Yoruba. Maybe I am tainted blood. It's crazy. And it is politically weaponized. And there are those who are pretty much playing into that theory, into that trajectory on all sides. While APC, they don't even have to do anything anymore. It's like planting that seed and you watch it germinate. And right now, you don't even have to go back there. There are people who are watering it with their tribal, ethnic laws, hatred, this and that. So they don't even have to do anything anymore. It's been planted, unfortunately. But here is the man that says the king of what's that place called in the Kotu again? You remind me though. There is a complaining and wondering. We don't know why. Oh, maybe it's because of jealousy. They are jealous of us. Now, when you listen to people like that too, right? At least it was a bit clearer because he said, we don't have problem with the Yoruba this, we don't have problem with that. But he wouldn't say that the problem is with this APC sponsored, politically sponsored hatred. But for the record, right? Here.
Came up. And all Igbos in Lagos, when all of them travel, you will see that Lagos is always be empty.
Yeah.
Lagos will always be empty, totally, until all Igbos started returning back to their business premises in Lagos. But sometimes I'm asking myself, wondering why our Yoruba brothers are doing this. And I believe there's a lot of Yorubas are educated. When I mean educated, much educated in this country and outside the country. And they have their leaders. Like Oba of Lagos State, Olowo Eko, is my very good friend. Oba Eko is my very good friend. And I've never seen Oba engaging trouble or engaging war with other tribes. So when this fight come up in Lagos Island, I feel so bad that you use a bottle to stab your fellow human being because it's not from your tribe. And when the person you stab bottle retaliate back again, it become war, which is very wrong and very bad. I am now using this privilege and this opportunity to ask my Yoruba leaders, their Obas, their kings, their lawmakers, their governors. I am calling on them to let them address this issue, because we are one. We are one Nigeria. We are intermarried. Yorubas married Igbos. Igbo people, they married Yorubas. So sometimes I'll be asking myself why these people are always envy Igbo, because it is envy. When we came to this Lagos as second-class citizens, Igbos we are not first-class citizens in Yoruba land. Believe it or leave it. We are not first class. They are the owners of the land.
Yeah.
We came here to establish business and do things good with them. That is why you can't say an Igbo man build a house or build any property or invested in Lagos without buying the properties. They will sell to us and we will buy and pay, and the Igbos will do follow the normal process, normal procedure. Well, what an Igbo man will do in anywhere he lives, he must follow the due process. Because you can't build in somebody's land without due process. It's not possible. So sometimes I'm wondering why are they fighting Igbos, asking us to go, and we are still one Nigeria, and the Igbos are investors. We invest very well. When we are investing, it will affect everybody. Come to Lagos State today. Go to Mandalas. Mandalas, Igbos have invested a lot of money in Mandalas. Go to Ojalaba International Market. Igbos invested a lot there. Go to Trade Fair. Igbos invested a lot. Go to Idumota, Tejo Osho, Computer Village, just name it in Lagos State. Ladipo Market. But at the same time, these people will always fight us, looking for trouble, looking for one way or the other, asking Igbo to go. Where are we going? Why? I don't know why they are always do this. And we have the elders of Yorubas, we have the Obas, we have the leaders, we have the governors, we have people that are representing this country. So as a king, I am a king of Igbo in Nigeria State. I'm not a king of Yoruba. I'm not a king of Yoruba people because I'm not a Yoruba man. And it was my Igbo people brought me out to be their leader. When an Igbo man...
You heard that? So was being interviewed to react to all these, developing, brand core talks and all that. And it was like, what have we done wrong? We are investors, we are here. And he acknowledged that they are the owner of their land. You will never see any Igbo man that is going to say Yoruba land is not, Lagos is not Yoruba land. You understand? Or saying that, as it is currently constituted, we all know why Lagos is Lagos. And we all know why, how much of Nigeria's resources have been sunk to help create the economy you see in that Lagos today. Now, if anybody is there legally doing their own legal business and what have you, not breaking any law, why should anybody weaponize hatred against them? Hatred that is politically sponsored. Oh, then he's asking for their leaders. That's another mistake. Because all of this is kind of sponsored. Yeah? It is sponsored rage. There is enough reason. Now, let's give you reason why you have to be angry. You shouldn't be angry about the state of Nigeria that much. You should be angry. The Igbos have taken over everywhere. They will soon begin to remove our Oba. They will soon make themselves the next governor. And we must make sure they can control Yoruba land. I say, but there is no Igbo trying to be governor of anywhere in Yoruba land. There is. We must be smart. They have a way. They are marrying our sons. They are marrying our blah, blah. Come on, man. So they want you to have a reason to be enraged. Yeah. Once you dissipate such energy on that kind of frivolity, even if you have to kill somebody for it, fine. But you won't have the energy to possibly fight them if you are by any chance called upon. Because no, you won't even have the motivation. That is the contraption they have created. But the old man is a little bit deluded, or is just living in denial. And that is the repetition of we are one. We are one Nigeria. Sorry, are we one Nigeria? Because that's somebody who can easily just remind you and say, how many times did they tell you that Nigeria is not for you? Asari would disagree. Unfortunately, he's currently eating from that Nigeria though.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo. Not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am mumu too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise?
Say they wise. Well, let's leave that a little bit. There is an embarrassing video, 2 embarrassing videos coming from Anambra State. The first one is that of the APC, Egbe's governorship candidate, Ukachukwu something. Nicholas Ukachukwu is the APC governorship candidate in Anambra. Until yesterday, somebody, accosted him and accused him of being a debtor. Obviously, that's not really good for politics, right? 1 billion naira. Shouting match.
You want to run for governor and your own people. You are running for governor and your own people. Pay us our money. Anambra people reject you. Anambra people reject this man. His own people. Anambra people reject you. Anambra, you are owing us 1 billion naira. You are owing us. You are owing us 1 billion naira. Pay us our money. Pay us our money.
Tiagasa, they tiagase. He fell, he fainted, he passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man.
Old man. Iruk, you are here. Oh my God. Etiagasin. Etiagasam. He fell. He fainted. He passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. So, there's so much drama going on in Anambra State right now that there is no evidence that he owed them money. Don't get me wrong, because I don't have that evidence. But that video has trended enough that you can easily say, maybe it's also politics. Because these guys were just saying, Anambra people reject you. Anambra people reject you. You are owing us 1 billion and you want to be Anambra governor. Anambra people reject you. That seems like if somebody owe you 1 billion naira, I don't think you are going to be interested in Anambra or anything, because you want your money. You would rather just be like, you need to pay me. We did a job for you. We did clinical TNC. Like, you start saying things like that. But when you begin to be like, if they owe us money, you want to be governor. If they owe us money, you want to be governor. Anambra people reject you. Anambra people reject. That's a red flag for me. But I may be wrong. Yeah? So similarly, at an event, we saw those they claimed to be DSS, by the way, dragged out a man identified as a commissioner of youth in the same Anambra. Kilo lifa go lalakoko fefe. What did they happen? I don't know. I believe that a commissioner has his own security orderlies. Now, I don't know if they also give them DSS. But this particular drama was also captured on camera. The commissioner of youth.
How can you come and block the road? Why the attack?
We are here to make peace. Because this is not the time to fight. This is not the time to fight. This
How can you come and block the road?
We are a poor nation. The bank coal will follow. They say firewood, not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine it, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They're doing.
They do it. Mind you, here is another lawmaker. You know, a lawmaker from, I think it's the same Anambra as well. I'm going to tell me where they stay, brethren. So a lawmaker, his name is Dominic Okafor. He's representing Aguata Federal Constituency. Is that not in Imo State? I've been in Anambra. Aguata Federal Constituency right now, who decided to do constituency project of empowering his people with wheelbarrow. I mean, that alone is actually something that is so directly insulting to an average Igbo person. Like, it's like, that's an insult. If somebody wanted to insult you and they decided to buy you wheelbarrow, as an Igbo person, right? Because that's the reactions I got. Now, what that, like, you know, anyway, he said he got it for them to help them with their farm work. So it's not really like they should be using it to do kaya or carry anything. So to say, politicians, just so you know. Now, I'm gonna drink water. Don't mind me all. I was planning to recreate this Kolus sort of. I know I can't be that petty, by the way. Let's go to something else. Still happening, right? Back in this contraption as captured. Here is a senator. I think I have his name. Mumboyi. I think that's his name. But forget that, don't worry, I'll correct it eventually. So his name is, it's Mumboyi, senator. Right? It's showing us the road that happens to be the federal road. Right? The federal road are called, the Onitsha, Aguleri, Adani Highway, right? For those of you who are from that part of Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria, the senator went there to show to us, or to show to Devolumai, that this is something too that has cut off a lot of communities completely away from like Nigeria, so to say. So you just have to find another means of reconnecting with, let me show you.
Engineer, come now. Or you don't want to come, don't watch us. Of your nature. 33. Aguleri. Anaku, Omo, Adani. Highway, Federal Express. This is a road that connects many communities. Agrarian in nature, agrarian communities in nature, these communities produce farm produce, but no way to transport it. This road, as I say, it was constructed several. IML cannot access them. They have to go through shortcuts, through motorcycles to get to this federal road. For me to go now, to go to the other step, I have to my woman to fight with the project. They can't go. The federal road. We are giving to honorable minister you are need to be some president who has given tax approval for him to intervene urgently for this road to be awarded, for succor to be given to the people of Anambra North, for an urgent palliative first through emergency repairs of the critical sections, emergency pending award, the main award. The people of IML local government, the people of Anambra local government, the people of Anambra West local government, the people of Onitsha North and Onitsha South local government who want to go to Abuja or who want to go to Onitsha from here, or that some people who want to bring their products from here to Onitsha. Onitsha people, the residents who want to from here to go to here, they can't go, they can't move through a federal road and no other route. The other route is very far. That other route that is not a federal road is very far and it's almost cut off, dilapidated. It's an appeal. A motion has been moved by my humble self on July 2023. Barely a month after I was sworn in. The president has given tacit approval. The Bureau of Procurement has done their own part through no objection. It remains the final phase, which is an award. But I understand the issue of paucity of funds. But pending the approval by National Assembly or pending the sourcing of funds for the main award of this road, because it's a stretch of almost between 50 to 60 kilometers in length. Let there be emergency repairs of critical section so that people can access their place. But the one that is most paramount is their main award. It's an appeal to Mr. President, it's an appeal to Honorable Minister of Works and his team, the entire management, and also Honorable Minister of Finance that will come and assist for funding. I don't know, I have questions to ask. You can see. Are you seeing any vehicle? Are you seeing any vehicle? You cannot believe that this is a federal road. I cannot believe. Yes. So.
And that is almost the same all over the country. And sadly, it is how they are politically prioritize every part of the country, all of it for political reasons. The most that their politicians, especially from the eastern part of Nigeria, the most they could do is just to put off that kind of performative show. There's a theatrical show like that, where they are going to show to you, look, while others are busy also displaying their own white elephant projects that are not directly in large scale to impact the region. So it's more or less like being so contented with whatever little they give to you and with thanks, because that's what their political class have always been. I mean, like, others have been pretty much like brutish about it from other part of the country. But from the eastern part of the country, it seems that their political class sort of believe that whatever they get from Nigeria is like a privilege, not right. As much as some of them, I mean, few of them are standing on the, the fight that is a bit genuine when they are speaking about the neglect of the region, which is deliberate. I'll keep reminding you, it is deliberate. As much as this marginalization is widespread in the country, right? you can easily tell the systemic marginalization of the Eastern Nigeria. And when it is time to talk about them, they will tell you they should go to their leaders. As if to say, all it's going to take is just for them to, I don't know, like develop themselves by themselves. They don't need federal presence. So they need to go and build the seaports themselves. They need to go and dredge their river themselves. And they should build international airports themselves. And at the same time, ensure that they grant the power that we, actually give it economic activity that, you know what I mean? Like you can book a flight from New York straight to Enugu, right? Or just book a flight from Owerri, right? Straight to Japan or from London. I'm just saying, like something like that. Or you can receive your container, your shipment. The vessel will barge in the nearest water to you, which is River Niger itself. When it's dredged, it will take large vessels. That's what is called the dredging. And you know how many times they've told you about dredging River Niger, and it was never really dredged to that capacity. It is political. It is intentional. All of it. And in the long run, right, the people who have the capacity to make that happen believes that if that should happen with the historical, what do you call it? The historical breakback between the owners of Nigeria and the Easterners, it is going to be an indirect empowerment of the Eastern Nigeria. And if they should be allowed, they may grow beyond just a trade. They may grow militarily. They may grow in such a way that Nigeria this time around will not be able to stop them. This fear is the reason why it's called systemic marginalization. There is corruption, and there is also systemic marginalization. Intentionally, call it conspiracy theory. It's up to you. But you tell me that is it the money to build seaports in the eastern part of Nigeria or any port at all in the eastern part of Nigeria, make them work, is what people don't have. On a port is right there in rivers, okay? And the distance between there and at least the hinterland of eastern part of Nigeria is probably less than an hour or two. You get that now? But yet, intentionally, right? The system programmed it in a way that the only thing they can send to these places are called batches or badges. These are the floating platforms that they will put stuff on, and then they will drag it down to that part of Nigeria, not in commercial quantity. Meanwhile, the same water that is, that is kind of like directing the ship down to your harbor in Lagos is the same water that will barge in One. It's the same port that will even barge, even in Ondo, very close to as well. I'm just saying. But when the system says, no, this is how it's going to go, that is systemic marginalization. And it seems that the Igbo political class understood this very well. So they can put up shows in front of the people and make it look like you get, but whatever they get and the way they ask for it, it's like, please, we'll appreciate if you can please do this for us. We'll appreciate. And one thing Tinubu has given to them now is a promissory note. You know what they call the Southeast Development Commission. Now they are giving them money. The money is to pay for those ones they appointed that position. So they will come up with a project or any project at all. And usually, the kind of projects they always come up with. Let us go and build an extra block of classroom, IT school, portion of, these are their projects. Nothing really like capital, So Tinubu has promised to borrow $3.5 billion in order to upgrade the single track train that passes through eastern Nigeria and straight to Bayelsa. And then like that, let's say from Bayelsa, it will pass through the eastern part of Nigeria, which is just about 25% of the the whole length and the project. And from there to Kogi, to the northern part of Nigeria and all that. So Tinubu is telling their politicians to go and tell the people that Tinubu is borrowing $3.5 billion for the development of Eastern Nigeria. And politicians who knows this, so Igbo politicians, they are repeating the same lie. And guess what? $3.5 billion to renovate the single gauge train, which means 2 trains can face themselves. So the train go take head, go Sokoto, pass through Enugu or so, Abina or Nicha, wherever they are taking the track. We shall pass through part of the Eastern Nigeria. Then from there, it goes to the North Central and to the Northwest. But to deceive the people, the Igbo politicians are telling their people that Tinubu is going to spend $3.5 billion in Igbo land. Remember? Promissory note. So they are now going to go and look for who is going to borrow them the money to renovate the single lane, single gauge track. I don't know how to put that. So intentionally, right, putting up what they call the dilapidated kind of old form of infrastructure in itself is called systemic marginalization. So there is no amount of effort they put into their development. But if the system is intentionally like working so hard to economically cripple them because they can't be economically viable. So you can come back and say, go and talk to your politician, instead of them to hold their politician, as if to say the politicians you're asking them to hold are different from the politicians from other parts of Nigeria. They are not. Some of you know that you can't hold your own criminal politicians, right? But the system is programmed in a way that at least you can pretend to be part of a country. But the difference is, the case is different on the other side. You just need to pay attention to it. And in the process, it continues to sort of like shrink the space of opportunity for a growing population. Your population is growing. The criminal politicians continue to work with a system that marginalizes part of the country because they want to control the growth and what have you. So if you are going to be an Igbo multi-billionaire, so it should be outside Igbo land, so that at that point your wealth is attached to, so they can hold you hostage by saying, if you don't do what we want you to do, you will lose this wealth. In that regard, they became their zombie. And in the process, like I said, the country, everybody is now like looking for the opportunity in few places where they have opened up the opportunity that makes it look like a country. But once outside that space, it is just arable land of multitude heads of suffering and smiling sufferheads. That's the country they've created. Walk with me and my imagination, and you understand it perfectly well. Right? Well, we are all living witnesses to some extent. So, leaving that aside, Aregbe, Mgbubaba, Kabiru, and Gbadebo, they were in Badagry this past weekend, right? And it is what they call their own ADC mobilization and familiarization tour, in which Aregbe clearly stated that they will end godfatherism in Lagos in 2027. And they will also ensure that Tinubu and his bad government, right, would automatically be terminated. All of this in Badagry yesterday.
Everybody!
for road, APC na bulldozer. Matter. They matter.
APC alọ wàláyé àwòfíìkòlé. APC alọ wàláyé àwòfíìkòlé. Ẹgbẹ́ tí ò wúlò tó ń fara ní wá, tó ń fìyà ń jẹ wá, tó ń fi pa wá. APC alọ wàláyé àwòfíìkòlé. Wọ́n ní yé wọn ò pé APC àgbàdọ̀gba. Àwọn fi yé wọn pé APC àgbàdọ̀gba. Àwa lọ̀rẹ́ tíṣà, àwa lọ̀rẹ́ ọlọ́jà, àwa lọ̀rẹ́ ọmọ wẹ́wẹ́. A ó fi yé wọn pé APC àgbà. APC! Bye-bye to jàgbàjàgbà. Bye-bye to jàgbàjàgbà. Bye-bye to rédèrèdè. Bye-bye to rédèrèdè. Bóyá kẹwàá máa lọ. Àsìkò tí tó kẹwàá máa lọ. APC. Bóyá kẹwàá máa lọ. Àsìkò tí tó kẹwàá máa lọ. Ẹ̀yin ò ní ìranù. Bóyá kẹwàá máa lọ. Àsìkò tí tó. Ẹ̀yin ò ní ìranù. Àpàdé ní Aláùsá. Níbi tí a kò ní yàrá wa, a ò ríra wa, a ò yọ̀ mọ́ra wa. APC ni ó ṣe gómìnà wa. APC! APC! Global Lagos! I'm so happy to be here. I am so happy to see all of you. Some people thought that because of what they did last Saturday, we will be afraid. That we will not gather. That we will not do what we are supposed to do. I remember when I was saying to Honorable Omobaka that I want to postpone this thing. He said, no, we have to go on. We are going on. He said, Achieve take campaign. I know Badagry division is a champion division. Yes. We know your power in Nigeria, me. We know the power of Amuwo.
That was them in Lagos. So, probably going to be a showdown as well. But it is waited to be seen, I think. Right? So more will leave that. The same weekend, the Benedians at the party, I think one of them, I don't know if it is their patriarch, I think, that turned 80, I mean 90, I don't know. So they were doing birthday. So dignitaries were invited. And we probably wouldn't hear anything about it until a video surfaced. It's just about 80 seconds video, 1 minute, 20 seconds or thereabout. A video that depicted what some interpreted as an embarrassing moment. Sort of. Where Alaafin of Oyo, the new Alaafin, as a guest, already seated in a church. And I think the celebrant and his wife arrived and they had to make the Alaafin move seat. Something that people are reading meaning to, but I don't think there's anything wrong in that. Dan, what is he doing in the church? Are we not still talking about people who have become like they are paramount rulers, okay? And they are so revered. They are supposed to be revered simply because people see less of them in that kind of setting. I don't understand this new paramount rulers and what have you. So this happened and people are talking. The video is not that clear, but we can manage it, right? Watch this. think they were kind of like appealing to him that the organizer should have thought of that by ensuring that it was advised to sit at the far end of the chair or the bench. But yeah, no, that's not an embarrassment, I don't think. You know, it depends on how some of you sees it, right? That is not, it's there. And it won't make any sense if everybody is like, as he's seated, they are now passing him like this. You get that? Like passing your, that won't make sense. I just feel like somebody like that, a royal father, should pretty much, right, sit more in their palaces and let people come in to seek advice, so that when you speak, well, maybe I'm wrong, because it's like all of them, not all of them, especially this Oni and this new Alafi now, they probably tend to be like changing the dynamic of the office. You know, they feel like to make more impact means they have to appear more with others like that at parties, and we'll leave that. So part of the problems being faced, or should I say part of the reasons why Nupeng and Dangote were having the issue was because Dangote was planning to launch his trucks that would be delivering free oil. It's not free oil, like free delivery. So of Dangote's oil to all these oil outlet or filling stations. So they've resolved their issue to some extent, I believe, as some of the trucks are now carrying the Nupeng stickers, meaning they've resolved to some extent. So today, Dangote launched his free oil delivery across the country, and it was captured. It's a moment they captured, not like the NNPC or Jagan. So because he took delivery of 4,000 trucks, they are CNG trucks, okay? So 4,000 trucks with the expectation of that number growing to like 10,000 and even more. So that 4,000, I believe, or part of that 4,000 were launched today as they were seen loading the product from his country, country. Yeah, in Lagos. Some people noticed this number of trucks, right, on the road next to his refinery, which some are already like complaining about the kind of traffic, because these trucks took one side of the road and it was like long kilometer of a queue. They were all headed for his refinery. And today, officially, they loaded this. So that should be good news. But those who are already in the business, they are afraid that Dangote's move will kick all of them out of business in no time. So let me explain how that will work. In Nigeria, they have those they call the oil marketers. So they are the ones that determines how much they want to sell the product. And back in the days, right, they usually, right, get a deal called subsidy from government. For example, they always import most of the product and they factor in a lot. The landing cost, the cost of refining and everything, they will break it down into liters and they put price on it. So for example, they may say, oh, it cost us to bring a liter of that fuel to Nigeria. It cost us 400 naira per liter. So the government will now say, no, you can't sell it for 400 naira. How much do you plan to sell it then? They will say, well, if we now factor in trucking, loading them and transporting them all over the country, prices will vary. So therefore, we're going to sell a liter for 500 naira per liter. So that 100 naira can go into the cost of logistics of moving it across the country. So the government will now say, oh, no, don't know. You know what we're going to do? We'll pay you 300 naira on every liter you bring. So that when you want to resell them to the marketers and what have you, you will sell them for, you said 400 naira, so we'll pay you 300, we'll pay you 200 naira, for example. So that means it is now going to be 200 naira landing. So by the time they load them to across the country, the prices can then be 220 naira, 250 naira, or 280 naira, depends on the distance, the way it works in Nigeria, okay? So it's been like that for a long time. Now with this Dangote and his own products, he had to depend on them. So the first baptismal of fire that he got was that they were not willing to take his product in that sense, without conditions. And also, the existing oil marketers in the country, those ones who are like the retail, those ones who end up selling at the filling stations, they wouldn't want to go and transact with Dangote if the truckers are not going to bring them. By that, they are real suppliers that they have been with for so long. That could also ruin that, so it became a problem. So how did he plan to resolve that? So guy went back to Europe, right? I'm not even sure if they built all those trucks in Europe or China. I don't know. Anyway, he went abroad, got a deal to build his own CNG, not like a petrol or diesel kind of trucks. CNG that will use gas. CNG trucks, and he ordered 10,000 trucks. Because according to what I heard, though, they said the factor that with 10,000 trucks, that simply means there is a chance of him supplying almost half of Nigerian filling stations. So he went on to sign a deal with another like oil distributing company called MRS. So those ones have their filling stations all over the country like that. So another ones like that. So sign a deal with them. I will deliver your product to you for free. That simply means I can control your profits. The part of the monopoly that they have been talking about, this is it now. Again, you know, say now one factor lead to another, by the way, right? So what if I bring the product to you? All you have to do is just open your tank, okay? And we deliver the product to you and you sell. And listen, we can give it to you for 800 naira. So all you have to do is just stay in your house, stay anywhere you want to be, right? And receive the product in your filling station. You don't have to worry about how it's going to get there, because we'll take care of that and we're not going to charge you. That's the most sweetest deal to possibly do what they call the hostile takeover. So that's their fear. So right now, Dangote over time will have the power. He's still going to face God knows what other things they're going to pull off, because Tinubu's alleged nephew, Deji Tinubu, is that not his name? The Ohando guy. Is the brain. There were two, by the way. There's another one from Kwara. I can't remember his name. So there are two. The brain behind the importation of petroleum products from Malta that has increased astronomically under Tinubu. And Ohando, Baba, they've made so much money than they've ever made since their existence. They made that in a year under Tinubu. They are doing fine. So with this Dangote stuff, their products coming to Nigeria, and people taking them and is controlling the price, means if they bring anything from Malta, two things will have to happen. One, Tinubu would have to promise them the difference, because if Dangote is supplying half of the country, his product, and he controls how much they sell it. Ordinarily today, as much as they said refineries is not a good business or whatever, right? Building refineries these days is pretty much like not a good business with the fluctuating price of crude oil and all of that things they used to say. So here is the thing. To refine a liter of petrol from a barrel of crude oil, right? So it simply means that the cost of 1 liter of petroleum refined is somewhere around 540 something naira, even with this your weak naira. So that simply means that Dangote, with production, with everything, Dangote can still sell his product for 600 naira or 650 naira, and he will still make a lot of money. So once it's cornered half of the market or 2/3 of the market, so whatever rock they want to pull under him, then I'm going to probably love to see it. Just kind of play with the numbers. So playing with the numbers, here is a police officer reminding us the tricks of his colleagues whenever they are extorting people. It's been a long evening, right? Not bad. Watch this before we call it a night. You probably will need it. A police officer.
The latest that some bad officers within the force now, what I hear from my fans that they do is that they even have POS. You have taken your corruption to that level. You have rubbished the image of Nigerian police to that level. Some of you will have POS on your own, or you will liaise with one useless idiot who is a POS person to be extorting. Such officers, I tell you, my brother, no matter how much you collect, you will just waste it. You won't know how you spent it. And because people you are collecting money from, that you are forcing to give you money, they are not happy. And besides, you will be caught one day red-handed when Nigerians video you, they record you and post it online. Then you will know, say, your own don't finish. What an effrontery. This is preposterous. This is unbelievable. This is unpoliceman-like. Oh, it's no longer, you no longer collect your money now within the vicinity of your office. It is now POS. We will do everything within our power. We will do everything within our power, those of us who love this police job.
We will do everything within our power, to make sure the job becomes so good, so attractive, so loving to the members of the public. But for few of you that you have resolved that your own is just to continue to do everything to spoil it, no wonder you will not. No wonder at the end of the day, even when you retire, you don't make it. You look wretched. You look unkempt. You will retire within that. After your 35 years, you continue to live from hand to mouth. You don't have plan. Because people are not happy with you. You cannot connect. You have forgotten that by the time you finish this job, if you did it very well, you will reconnect with the public. And people will now be talking about you. Mr. POS, Madam POS, well done. Continue with it. Your nemesis will come one day. I've said it again. You know bail is free. Don't force people to give you money for bail. And let me say this. I am not a perfect policeman. I'll continue to hide it. I was never perfect, and I am not perfect. Only God is perfect. But always work with your conscience. Always put people in your position. Put that person in your position. Turn the table and let's see whether you will be happy if what you are doing to him or her now, whether if they do it to you, whether you'll be happy.
Ìgbà kan máa dé, àsìkò kọ́ṣì ń bọ̀ wá, ìgbà kan máa dé, àsìkò kọ́ṣì ń bọ̀ wá, tólóró máa sáré, ọlọ́pàá máa sáré, ayé máa sáré, ẹyẹ tí ò dúró rere máa sáré, àlórà máa sáré, HS tí kò mọ kankan máa sáré, everybody máa sáré, gbogbo wa pátá máa sáré, ìgbà yẹn ti dé, àsìkò yẹn náà là wá. Ìgbà yẹn ti dé, àsìkò yẹn náà là wá, everybody máa sáré, ọlọ́pàá máa sáré, àwọn tó ń ṣòro gan máa sáré, olúmọlẹ̀ máa sáré, àpènà máa sáré, olúwo ìlú gan máa sáré, everybody pátápátá máa sáré.
Everybody pátápátá máa sáré, ìgbà yẹn máa dé, àsìkò yẹn ṣì ń bọ̀ wá, ìgbà yẹn máa dé, àsìkò yẹn ṣì ń bọ̀ wá. Ọlọ́pàá máa sáré, olóró máa sáré, lèmọ́mù máa sáré, Reverend Father gan máa sáré, àpáta máa sáré. It's not funny. Anyway, thank you so much for your time again this evening. And thanks so much for the support and the encouragement as well. So, it's been a long night enough, and I intend to see you again. Tomorrow. Please, let's use the number. Let's take advantage of the fact that we are here. Don't leave without liking the broadcast. It actually does something. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And I will see you again. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.